Good afternoon and welcome to OUA TV's coverage of Gaels football. It's homecoming weekend here in Kingston. It's the final week of the OUA regular season as we start to take a look at the standings here coming into this afternoon's matchup. We have the Gaels coming in with a 4-3 record and the Waterloo Warriors coming into this afternoon's matchup at 0-7. So certainly the Gaels wanting to make sure that they can secure that fifth playoff spot and then likely would be going on the road next weekend to Windsor. All of the matchups this afternoon in the OUA have something to play for at least one of the teams in the matchup, and we'll be taking a close look at those matchups, keeping an eye on those out-of-town scores throughout this afternoon's action. As we start to take a look at how the playoffs would then start to roll for next weekend, moving into that, the Laurier Golden Hawks are the only team who will be in the playoffs who have their seed confirmed. They're going to finish number one, win or lose this afternoon, and they get a bye next week. And that then the seventh seed will be on the road to the number 2 seed, the 6th to the number 3, and then the 5 seed will be at number 4. In all likelihood, if the Gaels win this game, then they will finish certainly as the 5 seed, and then likely would be going on the road to face either Windsor or face the Guelph Griffins. Then moving into the second week of OUA playoffs, into the semifinals, it'll be Laurier hosting the lowest remaining seed, and then the second and third seeds will face off against each other. And then, of course, the Yates Cup in 3 weeks' time will be at the highest seeded remaining team. If Laurier wins their semifinal, of course, it'll be in Kitchener-Waterloo for them, as they would be hosting the lowest remaining seed. It's a beautiful afternoon here this afternoon in Kingston, Ontario. About 15 degrees. We've got about 20 kilometer an hour breezes coming out of the south end zone off the lake. So expect wind to potentially play a little bit of a factor this afternoon in this matchup. And we're just going to send it down to the field right now for Christina Lee. Actually, we're waiting for the teams to come out on the field. A reminder that we're coming to you live from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower. And that here on Queen's campus again. And it's going to be Liam Silverson who's going to be leading the players out onto the field with the flag. Liam, one of the graduating seniors who was recognized before this afternoon's broadcast, before this afternoon's action as part of Senior Day here at Kingston. Waterloo again coming in with an 0-7 record, but having a chance to talk to their head coach, Chris Bertoya, earlier this week. You know, they certainly have been in just about every game this season other than the loss to Western. Last week they had a chance to beat McMaster. Unfortunately, had a kickoff go off an upright, which would have secured a win in regulation for them. Unfortunately, that was their final loss coming in this afternoon, as why often some of the pundits are saying maybe one of the best OUA 0-7 teams that I've seen in a while. So certainly the Gaels are going to need to make sure that they get all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams going this afternoon. Having a chance to talk to Gaels head coach Steve Snyder, he said that really is one of the goals as they're coming off their bye, coming into this afternoon, off of 2 losses on the road before that, wanting to really get back to winning ways as they get set to leading into the playoffs when they get started next week. So again, the Gaels coming off the loss at Western, and then 2 weeks ago, the loss at the Laurier Golden Hawks. The Gaels in that game against Western, the defense was kind of clicking, but the Gaels struggling on offense. Last week, the opposite, or 2 weeks ago, struggling on defense when the passing offense was going. We're going to head down to the field. Christina Lee with the national anthem.
Love in all of us command.
Thank you, Christina, and welcome back again. OU8 TV's coverage of Gaels football. My name's Don Lewis, and I'm pleased to now bring in my broadcast partner, Bill Miklas. And Bill, again, I think really for the Gaels, the importance of trying to get back into those winning ways, I think, this afternoon.
Wait, what am I pressing, though?
This one here, I think, this button here.
A few weeks since the Gaels have found success. As you mentioned, had the week off for Thanksgiving. 2 weeks before that, road trips to two nationally ranked teams, two top 5 nationally ranked teams. Lost both games. And they know that more than likely they're going to be on the road for the entire playoffs. So it's make the homecoming crowd happy with a win, but more importantly, as you say, get the momentum going, because it's going to be some tough games. If they go to Windsor, then you follow that up with a game to Laurier and then probably to London. That's a lot of traveling west along the 401 against 3 very good defenses. If, the way the playoffs have gone the last couple of years continue to go.
Taking a look for the Gaels, certainly a big change since we were last here at home, certainly at quarterback, seeing Anthony Leo coming in for Alex Vraken.
Yeah, it's, certainly he's had a few weeks to be the starting quarterback, and I think when you talk to people, he's getting better with each week. It's an unfortunate injury for the Gaels, but really sums up their season right from the start. Even at training camp, Gaels were dropping, and they've continued to get injuries, and not just, a pulled hamstring or a rolled ankle. It's multiple week injuries, and certainly has hit this offense, and Anthony's just got to keep progressing. The real games start next week for him. If Alex isn't able to come back, and there's certainly no definitive decision either way, whether he'll be back or not for the quarterfinals. So it's just a matter, like this entire offense, get things rolling. As you said, this is a dangerous 0-7 team that has been in every football game, yet they've ended up on the wrong side of the schedule. And we always talk about the homecoming crowd's great for the home team because it's homecoming, it's a big crowd, but it means something to the road team. It gives you something to strive for, disappoint the homecoming crowd, but it's also a playoff atmosphere. And for a team in their last game of the season, it'd be a big win to go into the spring camp.
And talking to head coach Chris Bertoia, he said other than the national champions, the only team that wins their final game, that's their goal for this afternoon's matchup. It's going to be Cole Crossett kicking the ball away, Ethan Dahl and Ian St. Arnaud back, and it's actually a short kickoff off the hop, and it is recovered by the Warriors. The initial ball going off the back heel of Chadley Charles. And then but that was past the 10 yards. There is a flag on the far side of the field, though. I thought, though, that Charles, the ball hit him after it
I don't think it has anything to do with the kick, and we'll have to watch it. I think the way the referee pointed, somebody on this side left early, because you're right. I mean, he doesn't touch it till Gaels territory, and he couldn't touch it before midfield. So it's a great call by Waterloo, though, and the Gaels need to be ready. That's what today's game's going to be for them.
And that was something Steve Snyder said. He said, you're going to expect to see this team come in, play loose, take lots of opportunities here this afternoon, just have fun and try and finish their season on a high note.
We're going to see fake punts, I'm sure. We're going to see some – I think Coach Bertoia is going to go right into the full bag of what he's got at his disposal offensively and defensively, and as we just saw, special teams.
So once again now, Crossett, this time he does boot it deep. It's going to come down to St. Arnaud just outside his 10. Upfield across the 20. Across the 35, 40, midfield. Down to about the Waterloo 51-yard line before Cole Crossett, the kicker, tackles St. Arnaud and forces him out of bounds. So Gaels already starting their opening drive in the Waterloo end of the field. It's Jazz Cara back this weekend. As the starting left tackle for the Gaels, Dawson Waldner, Chase DeVries, Daniel Sudak, and Nicholas Henning. The Gaels line, Anthony Leo, again the starting quarterback, Logan Walton, Matt Camillo, Nathan Falcone, Nico Cuema, the wide receivers, and then Jared Kasari standing in the backfield beside Leo. Kasari leading the OUA in yards per game. Coming into this afternoon's action, it's a first down pass to Falcone, first down yardage, down to the Waterloo 35-yard line. Taking a look at the starting Warrior defense, the front four, Divine Ugo, Justin Geck, Marcus Ola, and Marcus Miller. The linebackers, Keyshawn Bowen, Michael Omasani, and James Hinsberger. The secondary, Isaiah Blackson and Rasheem Blackson. The cornerbacks, they're both brothers, Anisu Latmore, Isaac Porter, and Mason Henry, the field side defensive back. So Gaels 1st and 10 from the Waterloo 34-yard line. This time it's going to be handoff to Kasari. He's got close to first down yardage, down to about the Gaels 25, down to the Warrior 25-yard line.
Well, and I'll tell you, Waterloo, that opening kickoff sort of sums up the way their season's gone. It's great call off the opening kickoff, but somebody left too soon, and now the Gaels with a big return and 2 big offensive plays.
Second and short, and Russell Weir, the backup quarterback, in to take this snap. And he's able to plow forward and looks as though it will be spotted for a first down for the Gaels.
Well, and you forget about that with Alex out of the lineup at quarterback. Anthony Leo moves up to the starter, but that means Russell Weir becomes your short down quarterback.
So Nico Cuemo, lone man to the far side. Falcone, Camille, and Walton near side. Camilo, his first action after a couple weeks off, 2 weeks ago in Laurier, catching a long touchdown pass from Leo. Play action fake. Looking deep over the middle. Falcone, touchdown, Gaels!
Mix-ups all over the secondary there. Walton was open near the goalpost. Falcone got open in the seam. And I think you would have seen Camillo open deep in the end zone. And the secondary looking around for Waterloo. There were mix-ups all over the place on the coverage. And what Coach Bertoya did not want and what Coach Snyder did want. After that onside kick attempt, the Gaels with momentum, big plays. They've got the touchdown. They've got the crowd into this game.
So Falcone catching the touchdown. He, of course, is the holder for the Gaels. James Gillingham with the snap. And Tyler Mullen puts it up and into the Lang Pavilion at the north end of the field. So Gaels on top, 12:39 to go here in the first quarter, 7-0.
What a great start for that offense. Anthony Leo looked comfortable back there. The offensive line gave him plenty of time. The one run by Kasari got almost 10 yards. So a dominant performance on that opening series by the offense. And again, not to belabor the point, but I'm going to, and it could have all been for naught if somebody had stayed onside for Waterloo on the opening kickoff.
So for the Warriors, back to receive, it's going to be Logan Haru and Ethan Miller. Actually, sorry, check that. It's going to be Malcolm Moore and Tyler Goforth. Goforth on the near side of the field. And Mullen is going to boot it away deep. Comes down to Moore, just outside his own goal line, up across the 15. Has room out to the 25 before he's going to be wrapped up there. In on the tackle for the Gaels, Cale Warren. Taking a look at the starting Waterloo offense. The offensive line, Thomas Levings, Daniel Dove, Devin Martin, Ethan Calra, and Nicholas Giugiaro. Nick Orr, again, back in a quarterback this week. Tyler Tierney, Brett Timbeck, Romel Samuel Slocum, Quentin Springer. Logan Aru. The receivers, Quentin Springer going over 100 yards in his first action for the Warriors last weekend. And then they're everything H-back and leading receiver, Evan Basiliga, number 87, now in motion to the far side of the formation. It's going to be a handoff to Springer. He tries to get away from the tackle of the Gaels' big number 99, Silas Hubert. He's going to be wrapped up for a loss. The Gaels starting defense, along with Hubert on that defensive line, Eric Johnson, Darian Newell, and Van Wishart. The linebackers, Liam Sutherland, Justin Pace, and Josh McBain. And the secondary, Jared Seaway back in this weekend for the Gaels, along with Ashton Miller-Melanson, John Korskadden, Keegan Vanek, and Dawson Matthews-Reed. So 2nd and 11 for the Warriors as the crowd continues to file in here on homecoming weekend. Or a play action fake looking over the middle, and he gets wrapped up by Darian Newell. Newell, that's his 4th sack of the season for the Gaels, and that's going to force the Warriors to punt here on 3rd down.
And he just blew by the right side of that Waterloo line, or didn't even have a chance to really look to where he wanted to throw the ball. He was hit immediately. Welcome back to the lineup, Nick Orr.
So Cressett, the 2nd ranked punter in the OU behind Michael Horvat from McMaster with a 44.9 yard average. He's set to boot this ball away. High snap, and he's going to try and run with it looking downfield. Gets a little bit of rugby kick out to the near side up into the stands here on the west side of Richardson Stadium, but it's going to be Gaels with tremendous field position here to get their 2nd possession underway.
I'll tell you, that's a heck of a play by Cressett, the punter. He recognized right away, I got to get out of here because it's going to get blocked. He looked downfield, and then when he realized he wasn't going to be able to do anything with it, he got a kickoff. It's not a great one by any means, but at least it got down the field a bit.
So the Gaels get to start their 2nd possession at the Warrior 30-yard line. Leo 2 of 2 for 41 yards, and that touchdown to Falcone on the Gaels' first drive this afternoon. Falcone in motion near side, handoff to Kasari right up the middle. He gets hit immediately, coming up to make the hit for the Warriors, number 52, Marcus Miller.
Nice play by Miller. Didn't get caught by that delayed draw action. And the Gaels just, since that onside kick attempt by Waterloo, it almost woke up, well, it did wake up the Gaels. They come with the punt block. Offense looks great on their touchdown drive. Defense all over the Waterloo offense on their 2 plays. It's a great start by the Tricolor.
2nd and 7 for Queens. Delayed draw to, and actually, no, Leo's going to keep it himself. Tuioti trying to make a block downfield, but Leo's going to be forced out, actually losing about 1.5 yards on the play. Gael's going to be forced to a field goal.
It was a great play by Ugo, the right end. He just didn't bite on anything. Leo, I think it was a read option, decided to keep it when he saw Ugo wasn't going to get caught. And then just good technique by Waterloo, and they're going to at least force a field goal here and have a chance to catch their breath.
So a 36-yard attempt. Mullins good at 8 of 9 so far this season, and make it 8 of 10 as it goes through the end zone wide to the left, but the Gaels do get the extra point off of that, make the score now 8-0 with 9:48 to go here in the first quarter.
And again, I'm going to go back to it. Doesn't seem like much. It probably only registers as a 5-10 yard punt, but that play by Cressett at least put the Gaels far enough back that the defense could make some plays for Waterloo, and with the missed field goal, only giving up a point on that exchange. Now let's see if this offense can get their feet under them. But after those first 2 offensive plays by Waterloo, it's clear that especially Darian Newell in his last home game as a Gael is playing with a vengeance.
So four receivers to the far side of the formation for the Warriors. Play action fake, or looking downfield for Basiliga. He's covered on the play by Seaway, falling incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, and you mentioned Basegla is the receiver, key blocker for them offensively, and you could see the Gaels keying on him. So Nick Orr might have to try and get somebody else involved to get some openings for number 87.
Justin Pace one of the Gaels' leading tacklers this season, up on the line here. Gaels with showing pressure. And it's offside. It looked to be the receiver on the near side actually caught that ball. Quentin Springer, the running back, may have left a little bit early on the play.
I think he did.
And indeed, that is the call.
No, it's procedure on the H-back.
So Basiliga. So 2nd and 15 upcoming here for the Warriors.
I thought it was Singleton myself, but you can see Seaway's playing with a club cast on his left hand.
As is Justin Pace. So it's going to be play action fake again to Springer. Ball batted away, making the pass break up at the line of scrimmage, Oliver Jackson. So it's going to force the Warriors once again, after a couple plays, into a punting situation.
And this was one of the big fears that Coach Bertoya had for Waterloo. They're just dwarfed in terms of size on the lines, and you can see it early on. Gaels are just dominating at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
So Crossette's first punt after the poor snap, only about 7 yards. This time he gets away, a better one. It's going to bounce down at about the Gaels 45. St. Arnaud comes up to pick it up. He's got room on the far side of the formation, into the Warrior end of the field, down to the 20, 10, and he finally gets knocked out of bounds there. But the Gaels are going to be first and goal here on just the 3rd possession of this afternoon.
Well, the Gaels just aren't letting up off the gas. And I think Corsett on that punt rushed it a bit because of the pressure from the previous punt. Coverage doesn't get down there, and we know what St. Arnaud can do when he gets that ball in his hands on special teams.
St. Arnaud, of course, earlier this year, along with most of the yardage coming on missed field goal, already broke Jimmy Allen's single season record for return yardage on punts and missed field goals. It's going to be Isaiah Adams beside Leo here on first down. Leo looking into the end zone for Falcone once again, and it's just overthrown on the coverage that time. Anisu Latmore for the Warriors.
That's a tough pass. That's all the way over to the other side. A lot of air under that football, and Falcone did have a step on the DB, but just too far.
So on second down, Tuioti checks out. Liam Silverson in now at the H-back position. 2nd and goal from the 6 for Queens.
And you wonder if maybe something underneath might be open here. They've been pushing these DBs back. Will they catch a linebacker perhaps napping?
And it's going to be a handoff to Adams. Makes a move at the 5, but he gets wrapped up. Justin Geck coming up to make the initial, forcing Adams to move it back inside. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 3 as Kasari checks back in for Adams.
Well, I think it's clear when you run the ball like that on second down that this is 3-down territory for the Gaels. Way their defense is playing, turning the ball over here at the 3 isn't terrible, but you're hoping your offense can punch it in.
So it's just outside the 3. Low snap. Kasari takes it right up the middle. He gets hit in the backfield, reverses his field, and he's going to be wrapped up for a loss on the play. As coming up, Josh Pelegi making the final tackle on the Gaels. So the Warriors defense holding the Gaels from getting any further points when they started 1st and goal from the 6.
What a great push. And it looked like, can't see the number there, but they got a great push up the middle and then closed in. And how about this Waterloo defense? Could easily be a 21-0 game, not even barely halfway through this first quarter. Instead, it's 8-0.
Kevin McNeil, now the defensive coordinator for the Warriors. He comes over from the Western Mustangs, where he'd been with them for the last few years. It's going to be Springer off tackle on the right side, gets out across the 10 before he gets wrapped up after about a 4-yard gain.
And I would think if Waterloo doesn't get the first down here, that they're going to concede the safety instead of have Corsett punt it away just because of the fear of the return.
And I think also the fact they're going into about a 15-kilometer-an-hour
well,
breeze here.
and there's been pressure on both times he's punted the ball. So I think all those things. If Waterloo could get a first down here, I think their coach would breathe a very loud sigh of relief.
2nd and 7. Pressure on Orr in the backfield. Throws it far side. He's got it complete for a big first down out to Logan Haru with the catch for the Warriors all the way up to their 36. Yeah, about their 36-yard line.
Great protection by that offensive line. I've been talking about how the Gaels were dominating the line of scrimmage. This is a long setup for that pass play to work, or through a perfect pass. Receiver ran a great route, but the offensive line had to give them time because that took a while.
So the Warriors' first down of this afternoon. Moves it off of their goal line. Handoff to Springer, coming near side again. McBain forces him back inside where Justin Pace tackles him. Pace, the second leading tackler in the OU coming into this afternoon's action. Certainly will be in consideration for the President's Trophy. The voting for that just recently taking place this week by the OUA coaches.
Only 2 defensive linemen in the top 20 of leading tacklers in the conference. So it shows you why there's a Metris Award and a President's Trophy.
So 2nd and 7. Orr looking near side. Now he's looking up over the middle. He's going to scramble forward, and he gets wrapped up by Pace about 2 yards shy of first down yardage. Oliver Jackson coming up to help out his defensive mate as well.
Good recognition by the Waterloo quarterback. Wanted to throw it over the middle, wasn't 100% sure that he could get it there, and then just tucked and ran. Good gain. Allows them to bring, maybe go for it, but I think they're just going to punt it away. But the offense did a good job to swing the field position.
So back this time for the Gaels, it's going to be Russ Weir.
I would think.
Along with St. Arnaud.
I would think the direction to Corsett is keep it away from 6, but we'll see.
Although Russ Weir is also a very athletic player for the Gaels, not unlike his dad Rob back in the 92 seasons and before that. It's going to come down to St. Arnaud just inside his 30. This time he's got a wall near side. Nice block by Miller Melanson. He gets up almost to midfield, and the Gaels will get things started from their own 54.
And what we talked about in our last broadcast, Donnie, the punters are taught to get it outside the numbers, and right now Corsett is not doing that. If you watch this one, it's going to bounce right inside the numbers. Arsenault's got time to pick it up on the bounce, set up his blockers, and get another big return. Let's take a quick look at our keys to the game. And Donnie, we talked about it's getting your mojo back, both these teams. Gaels want to get the momentum going for the playoffs. Waterloo wants to get the sting of this first season in terms of getting a win. Hoko fun, obvious. It's homecoming Saturday for the Gaels. They want to send these fans home happy. Waterloo has played in multiple opponents' homecoming games this year. They'd like to spoil one and dance with who you brought. And that's just simply keep Jared Kasseri going. He's going to be necessary in the playoffs, whether it's Alex Vrakin at quarterback, Anthony Leo, or me at quarterback. Jared Kasseri needs to be the dominant player if the Gaels want to make a run in November.
Just want to confirm that your eligibility has run out when you're bringing that point up for next weekend.
I'll be non-committal on that.
For the Gaels, Kasseri just 5 yards on 3 carries, actually losing a couple yards in that 3rd and goal in that last possession. And so far this afternoon, Springer also being limited on his first couple of carries, 2 carries for no yards. It is Kasseri to the right of Anthony Leo. Walton and Tuioti near side for the Gaels as receivers. It's going to be a handoff. This time Kasseri right up the middle. He's got first down yardage in the secondary. All the way down inside the 35. And now dance with Ubrunya. As you said, Kasseri gets things going.
Well, and it leads us into our players to watch when the Gaels have the ball. As you watch this play again, offensive line, much better job Deep handoff allows Kasari to find his spots. And the players to watch, we talked about Jared, but I'll tell you, I really like this linebacker for Waterloo, Michael Omaseni. Just an outstanding player and one of their best.
Quick hitch to Cuomo, far side. He's got first down yardage inside the 20, inside the 15, as he rumbles all the way down inside the 5-yard line. First and goal upcoming for the Gaels.
And again, when the Gaels are going well on offense so far in this first quarter, the ball carrier's not getting touched for a while. Look at that. Not a single Waterloo hand until Omaseni at the 11-yard line, and he eventually makes the tackle. But when your middle linebacker's coming all the way back to make the tackle on a hitch play, you're in trouble.
Now the Warriors did stop the Gaels from getting a touchdown when they started first and goal from the 6 on the last drive. This time handoff to Kasari, bounces it outside and into the end zone for his 6th touchdown of the regular season here for the Gaels. They go on top 14-0, extra point to come. There is an injured Warrior down on the field, Justin Geck, after that play.
This is the Gaels. I don't want to say got cute, but they thought, okay, we'll go up the middle on that 3rd and goal play. This drive was just about reasserting the dominance, and you see it right here. Middle's cut off again, but Kasari's got time. Line's doing a great job blocking people, and Jared just goes to the outside, untouched again, into the end zone, and the Gaels add to the lead. Really a very dominating first quarter.
Going back to Bill, when you were talking about the Waterloo players to watch on defense there, Michael Omaseni has really kind of stepped into that middle linebacker position this year for the Warriors. James Hinsberger was their starting middle linebacker at the beginning of the season. Hinsberger gets injured. He's out for a few games. Omaseni check comes in, and he's the leading tackler for the Warriors. 24 solos, 23 assisted tackles, a couple interceptions. And then when Hinsberger comes back off of his injury, then now you've got that more senior linebacker can move out to the will position for them as well.
Again, you talked a lot to Coach Bertoya during the week. This is not a big veteran Waterloo team. He's trying to build a culture. And I think when you watch Waterloo on film from their earlier games, they're in these contests. Old Waterloo teams of the last few years get blown out right off the bat, and there's just no fight in them. We've seen that. Yes, it's going to be 15-0, but it could be a lot more. This defense for Waterloo has kept the Gaels out of the end zone a couple of times where this could have really gotten away from Waterloo, but you can see what Coach Bertoya is building now. It's unfortunate that Geck is being helped off and having a lot of difficulty putting weight on one of his legs.
Geck has been the leader of that defensive line so far this season for the Warriors.
Wow, and was key on that play on 3rd and goal by the Gaels in the middle, doing a great job trying to tie up blockers. And that's a key role. Inside defensive linemen, you've got to tie up the blockers so players like Omaseni can build up those tackles. You don't get any credit for anything, but if you're doing your job properly, your middle linebacker should be getting a lot of tackles, and that's what's happening.
And on the extra point for the second time this afternoon, some of the fans in the Bob McFarland Plaza in the Lang Pavilion catching the ball from Tyler Mullen. So 15-0, 2:41 left to go here in the first quarter. And Bill, a little bit of an anomaly. This is the first time these two teams have faced each other going all the way back to 2017.
Yeah, very unusual that these two teams wouldn't have played before then. I know both coaches said the same thing. They're very good friends. They've coached with each other before, but yet
and been coached by.
But right, yeah. Right. And we'll talk about that, as I'm sure, as the game goes on. But to not have seen Waterloo since 2017, I get there's a lot of teams in the conference, and there's teams you have to miss every year, but you shouldn't miss the same team for 7 straight.
All the way back when Trey Ford, now with Edmonton, was a rookie with the Warriors. Ball off the kickoff, goes off the hands of Moore, goes back into his end zone. He tries to get out of the end zone. He's going to be wrapped up So that's going to extend the Gaels' advantage now to 16-0, 2:30 to go here in the first quarter.
But Waterloo's really fortunate that the return didn't come out of the end zone, because on a kickoff, it stays where you get tackled. So if he gets out to the 1, all of a sudden Waterloo's starting at the 1. I don't know, unless he panicked because he thought he touched it on this side of the goal line and he was going to give up a safety, but that wouldn't have been the case. But they do get the ball out to the 35 now, and they're fortunate they're not starting deeper.
So Warriors getting a first down on their previous possession, their lone one here of the first quarter. And Roy Vanderveen now in the backfield along with Nick Orr. Going to be a fake to Vanderveen. Orr looking over the middle. He's forced to roll far side. Gaels coming with some pressure. He just tosses it out to the Warrior sideline. Josh McBain coming in.
Well, he was looking
with
for
pressure.
He was looking for his favorite receiver, Basaliga.
Basiliga.
Thank you. Evan. He was looking for Evan, and he was double covered. The Gaels are going to give that look for a second, then they're going to take him away, and Nick Orr's going to have to find someone else. But all the receivers were to the one side, and Orr did a good job just to throw it away and not try to force something.
Basiliga and now Basiliga motioning near side. Brett Timbeck, lone receiver far side. Orr looking, and again he's going to be wrapped up quickly, coming through with the pressure for the Gaels that time on senior day. One of the Gaels senior, Eric Johnson.
But again, 3 receivers on the side he was looking to, and each one was covered. He wants to get rid of it. He knows his pocket's collapsing, but that's a coverage sack.
So
and now you've got to punt the ball.
And you've seen 2 big returns.
And that has not gone well for Waterloo.
So this time it's going to be Weir near side, St. Arnaud to the far side, returning for the Gaels. And Croisset gets off a bit of a wobbler. It's going to come down to St. Arnaud at his 40. Gaels setting up the return near side, makes a move at the midfield stripe. At the Gaels 50, but he's going to get wrapped up there downfield with the tackle for Waterloo is Cameron Krug.
And again, the punt is inside the numbers. And you really get a feeling that St. Arnaud is going to break one here today before this one's over.
Taking a look, Bill, again, some of the out-of-town matchups this afternoon. As we said, all of these games mean something to at least one of the teams. Ottawa at home to Toronto, they're up 3-0. They win, they're in the playoffs for sure. Right now it's Windsor 17-3 over Windsor. Western 17-3 over Windsor. It's going to be handoff to Kasari on first down, bounces off the first tackle. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on that first down play before he gets repped up by Divine Ugo coming over from his left defensive end position.
But again, good job up the middle, this time by number 90, Lausch. Watch him make the hit right there. I apologize. That wasn't him. That was number 2, Bowen, doing a good job from his linebacker spot.
Again, that Western Windsor score is key. If Windsor loses and the Gaels win this game, then that'll confirm that Queens will be heading all the way down to Windsor next week for the first round of the playoffs. 2nd and 7. This time Kasari off the far side of the formation. Big first down into the secondary again, inside the 25, and Kasari rumbles all the way down to the 21. And once again, Bill, hardly anybody touching him.
Want to show this. We're going to see this replay. Watch him guide and follow with the pulling blockers. And again, as we've been saying, no one puts a hand on him till Omaseni does it almost 40 yards downfield. And that's a long run for the middle linebacker. Hats off to him, but Waterloo is just getting blown away right now up front.
Kasari all the way already up to 69 yards here in the first quarter on 7 carries. He takes it this time off the left side of the formation, makes a move into the secondary, and nice vision and footwork that time by Kasari as he picks up another first down. That's going to be the final play here of the first quarter. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Second quarter action of Gaels football on OUA TV. We're coming to you from the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower. My name's Don Lewis, along with Bill Beckless, my broadcasting partner. And Bill, certainly the Gaels getting what they wanted offensively, defensively, and special teams in that first quarter. A couple touchdowns from Falcone and Casari.
And yet only up 16-0. Again, got stopped on third and goal just outside the end zone by the Waterloo defense and missed a field goal. Could be a lot worse, but they're driving again, and can this Waterloo defense hold up? They've been on the field for a lot of that opening quarter.
Taking a look at some of those first quarter stats, Anthony Leo, 3 of 4 for 71 yards. That touchdown to Falcone. Jared Casari, 8 carries, 78 yards in that first quarter. And the Gaels will have it 1st and 10 from just outside the Waterloo 11-yard line.
Getting back to that Western score, Donnie should mention as well, Western wins that. They clinched the 2nd seed, which has been very important the last couple of years in the playoffs.
So Leo looking quickly near side. He's got an in route to Quamo, and he's unable to secure the ball, getting knocked away by Mason Henry, making the play defensively there for Waterloo.
Good close by Henry. He was right there. Quamo wanted to make a quick move on Henry because he could feel him coming and just didn't secure the football.
It's going to be Silverson in for Tuioti here on 2nd down, and actually Gaels really mixing things up as Russ Weir comes in at quarterback. So he checked that they never did get that first down at the end of the first quarter, so this is actually 3rd and short, which of course is why Weir and Dahl are in on that play. So Weir takes it right up the middle and looks to be good for 1st down yardage. So now it's going to be 1st and 10 from just outside the Waterloo 10-yard line.
So basically 1st and goal for Queens. Going into a bit of a breeze, but shouldn't be a factor throwing the football this close to the end zone, I wouldn't think. But I wonder if you just pound a little more of Jared Casari at this Waterloo defense.
As Casari this afternoon has moved past Brad Elberg into the 6th position for all-time rushing yards for a Gaels running back, as Casari goes off the right side of the formation, breaks a tackle, and Casari gets his 2nd touchdown of this afternoon's action.
And you just cannot tackle this young man up high and just try and grab him to pull him back. And we'll watch it again. He's got quick feet. He's so patient. We've talked about it all year, about his patience when he runs the football. But watch Waterloo just sort of grabbing at him. There's the patience, and then grab, and unfortunately that's by almost semi. You're just not going to slow down Jared Casari 5 yards from the end zone trying to just grab him around the waist.
So Mullen on once again for the extra point, up and through, and that now extends the score to 23-0 for the Gaels here. 13:41 left to go here in the first half.
And again, if you're just joining us, Waterloo with a great onside kick to start the game, but they got called for offside on it. Gaels ended up kicking it off the second time deep. Gaels had a big return, and it's been downhill for Queens, uphill for Waterloo since.
And unfortunately for Waterloo, it's starting to look like that last matchup that the Gaels had in 2017. Gaels coming out on top that day, 68-17. The victory for them was one of the first evening games that the Gaels had hosted here at the new Richardson Stadium back then. It was the pre-Thanksgiving game. So this time Mullen kicking into the breeze. It's going to come down once again to Moore. This time he takes it just outside his 10. And he gets tripped up as he got up close to the 25-yard line. Down quickly for the Gaels, making the tackle on the play, Brandon Spence.
Let's take a quick look at the key players when Waterloo has the ball as we watch the Tyler Mullen kickoff again. And I think it's a great hit, but the jump by Moore made it look a little better. Quentin Springer, and of course we talked about Justin Pace, just outstanding football player, intensity all the time, and trying to get the lead in the conference for most tackles in a season.
Springer going over 200 yards on the ground last week against McMaster. This time he gets the first down carry up across the 30. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on first down.
And of course we bring up Justin, and Justin getting a rest on this series. Hiscock's in at that middle linebacker position. As I think the Gaels, with the lead, are now going to start rotating people in and out. It's senior day, homecoming, and with a 23-0 lead here early second quarter, I know it's early, but a chance to get everybody starting to play.
Sorry, Bill, fake to Springer. He's got a first down completion out near side to Marcus Hugel. And we're seeing, the strength of the arm of Nick Orr being able to get those long out routes complete.
Yeah, I mean, in the first quarter, he was going into the wind. Now he's got the breeze at his back, so maybe a little more confidence too. But he was showing a good arm in the first quarter in his limited attempts when the line held up. And again, the line held up on that play, and it's a long developing play, and he put it on the money.
So 2 of 5 for 41 yards here this afternoon. Fake to Springer. Now he's rolling out far side. He's going to keep it and try and get downfield. And it's going to be McBain coming up to make the tackle for the Gaels.
Just great coverage again by the Gaels secondary. And Orr just couldn't find anybody. And once you've rolled out that far, at some point you've got to try and get what you can. He did. He got about 4.
Keegan Vanek making the initial hit that time, coming up from his defensive back position. So 2nd and 6 from their 42 for the Warriors. Orr looking over the middle. Now he's going to throw a screen far side, and he's going to be wrapped up for a loss. It was completed to Springer.
That's just great preparation by Brady Spafford. He from his linebacker spot, he never got sucked in on anything on the eyes of the quarterback. He just kept following Singleton, who was trying to get hidden in all the traffic, and set up that screen, and he was right there to bring it down. It's a great play.
Already the 5th punt of this afternoon's action for Crissette, averaging 35 yards, kicking into the breeze in the first quarter. St. Arnaud, the lone man back right now to return for Queens. And he gets off a beautiful high spiraling punt, forcing St. Arnaud back to his 11 and outside the numbers, but St. Arnaud a decent return all the way back up to about the Gaels' 30-yard line.
Best punt of the day by far by Corsett. Wind at his back, hit a beautiful one. It got outside the numbers, helps his coverage team. Now the coverage unit's got to make the tackle, and Arsenault made some people miss and got, as you said, a very positive return out of what was a phenomenal punt.
So Isaiah Adams in at running back right now, giving Kasari a bit of a break. Isaiah Adams' second action of the season for the Gaels, coming off an injury. Leo looking quickly near side for Quamo. This time he gets the reception, makes a move around the defensive back at the 35, gets first down yardage out to the Gaels' 47 as he juked Isaiah Blackson out of his shoes there on that play, picking up the first down for the Gaels.
Yeah, this is a long, dangerous pass, but it gets there, and then Cuomo does a lot of the rest of it with his athleticism and picks up the first down.
So to the Gaels 42. Adams carried the ball 4 times in that Laurier game for 10 yards. He gets the first down carry here, makes a move at the line of scrimmage, and then just drives upfield, picking up about 6 yards on first down before Keyshawn Bowen coming up to make the tackle for Waterloo.
Good run by Adams. Certainly he's spending all season practicing with Jared Kasari, and you can see some of those traits there. Patience, following his blockers. Good run by the youngster.
So 2nd and 4. And again, it's going to be, play action fake this time. Leo rolling near side. He completes it to Cuomo going down to the field to secure the reception. First down yardage just across the midfield stripe to the 54 of Waterloo.
This is such a great play all around by the Gaels offense. Waterloo finally sent a big blitz, and that's what Leo sees. He keeps it on the read option, and then Cuomo does a great job to come back to his quarterback and make the catch.
So Leo quickly near side for a screen, trying to set it up to Cuomo. It's the second time this afternoon, maybe trying to turn upfield a bit too quickly.
Wow, that time they basically running the exact same play they did 2 plays ago, and Waterloo wasn't fooled. Both Latmore and Blackson were right there, and I think Cuomo knew he had to catch and run and just couldn't secure the pass again.
So Gaels with the false cadence now on 2nd and 10. Leo has it, looking quickly up to Tuioti, tries to make a move and get upfield. He's going to be wrapped up. Making the tackle is Jack Lausch for the Warriors. It's going to be forced the Gaels to a 3rd down.
Omasemi was in on that play as well. Forced the Gale receiver to come back inside, and that's a good job by Waterloo. They gave up some yards, but at least right now are forcing the Gaels to punt.
So the first time this afternoon that Matt Driver is going to step on the field for the Gaels, 41.2 yard average.
Now, I don't think they will, but they are certainly in an area where you could see a fake.
And James Gillingham back after a couple weeks as the long snapper for Queens. Good snap this time to Driver. He boots it away. It's going to come down to about the 15. Haru gets up across the 20, where the Warriors will get things started at their own 24-yard line. McBain in on the tackle for Queens. Again, some of the other scores out of town. Laurier up early on Carleton at the beginning of the 2nd quarter, 7-0. The other game, which is almost a kind of winner in almost for both teams, York, after going 0-4 for a couple of seasons there, they've secured 2 wins there at McMaster. McMaster has to win at home in order to secure the final playoff spot. It's going to be a Vanderveen on the carry. He gets wrapped up in the backfield, quickly upfield, making the tackle for a loss on that play is going to be the Gale Silas Hubert. That's his 7th tackle for loss this season for Queens.
Well, again, this is that read option, and there's just nowhere to go. Huber just getting right by Calra, the offensive lineman, and is in the backfield basically as soon as the running backs got the ball. So now, or in a 2nd and long, you'd think the Gaels might come after him, and Darian Newell back up front to maybe try and get a sack.
2nd and 15. Gaels rush 5, and as you said, the blitz coming from the far side, and Nick Orr, hello, nice to meet you, Silas Hubert on the sack.
Well, it's another coverage sack. Orr was transitioning to his 3rd look, and as you'll see it here, as his eyes turn, there's Silas. He wanted to move over to see if he could find somebody on the left side, and Silas was waiting.
So the 4th sack of the season for Hubert. And Bill, you wonder, is this the spot where maybe you do see Cressette concede the single?
I think it would make sense to me. But it's also 23-0.
And he does have the wind at his back. He does indeed take a knee, and that's going to now make the score 24-0. 6:31 left to go here in the first half. Gaels on top. So Gaels will get this drive started once again from their 35-yard line. Total yardage this afternoon, Gaels 195 total yards. Waterloo just 40 here midway through the second quarter.
Gives us a chance to talk about, we showed the playoffs system in the OUA, but what happens after? Well, they're going to finish things off right here in Kingston for the Vanier Cup on November 23rd. Before then, the week before, November 16th, the winner of this conference, the OUA, will go out east where it looks right now like Bishops might be the team to beat.
6-0, eh? Number
6-0,
5.
and happy to be out of Quebec, I would imagine, with Laval and Montreal dominating there, and they're dominating again. And whoever comes out of Quebec with the Dunsmore Cup will go out west, where it's Manitoba and UBC at the top right now with 2 weeks left to go before their playoffs.
You almost wonder, is it going to be in that semifinal, is that going to be a rematch? Last year, Montreal, UBC starting off 0-2. They won 5 in a row as they picked up the win last night over Calgary. And then Montreal lost their earlier matchup to Laval, but winning last week in OT.
Well, and of course, if it was Montreal and UBC and the winner played Western, that's a rematch of last year's Mitchell Bowl. So there's a lot of stories still to be written once the calendar turns to November, and it'll culminate right here at Richardson.
Kasari back in on this series, takes the ball up the middle, makes a couple of moves, and then bounces it outside. Nice vision by Jared Kasari, picking up a hard-earned 9 yards on that first down.
And again, you'll see it on the replay here. Waterloo's doing a great job. They're plugging up the middle, but the offensive line's in control. See that? Nobody with Waterloo is touching Kasari. He's just running into the backs of his own blockers and just churning ahead, and getting 10 more yards.
Yeah, you do give him a nice spot. He's now up to 98 yards here on this afternoon as Adams comes in for Kasari on this next play. Quamo lone man to the near side in this formation for the Gaels. It's going to be a handoff to Adams right up the middle, and he's going to pick up another nice gain running on first down. Give him about 8 yards on first down for Queens.
And a bit of a battle going on out here at the near sideline between Quamo and Raheem Blackson, the cornerback. Place nowhere near them, but they're certainly blocking to the end, and now Blackson's going to come off, and they're going to send over Njongo to cover Quamo.
And Quamo and the man in motion here, Falcone, doing a great job blocking at the receiver position, but great job this time by Marcus Ola from Brockville coming up to make the tackle for a loss, and it's going to force the Gaels to punt the ball away here on third down.
Nice play by the Brockville native because Adams is trying to decoy like he doesn't have the ball, but then Ola comes right up the middle. And I'll tell you, Waterloo, the last few offensive plays by the Gaels, they're getting a surge up the middle. They just haven't been able to get to the running back, and that particular time Ola was able to do the job, and you could see him sort of show the frustration that I'm sure all the defensive line is thinking right now for Waterloo.
So good job by the Warrior defense, 2 successive times forcing the Gaels to punt. Driver boots it down, going back now inside his 20 for it is Haru, all the way back to his 10. Tries to get a move out to the far side of the formation. He's going to be wrapped up there. There is a flag in the area where you'd suspect maybe a hold on the Warriors.
No, I think this is going to be no yards on Aiden Vint. When the ball bounces and you're coming down on coverage, oftentimes if you're engaged with the blocker, it's hard to find where the ball is, and Vint just got caught within that 5 yards. He tried to get out, and I think That's what Steve Snyder's saying to the official, that he was backing out, and so the flag shouldn't be thrown. You'll see it here. There's Vint right there, and by the letter of the law, he's within the restraining zone, but he was trying to get out. I can see where the Gaels would argue that, but
So it's the 5-yard variety as the ball had bounced on the turf. So 1st and 10 for the Warriors from their 20. And it's going to be a quick pass out far side. He's got it complete. Coming away with the reception is Aru, the man who just returned the punt for the Warriors. Nice gain on 1st down for Waterloo.
And Waterloo starting to get frustrated up front. Some pushing after the play. But there's the difference. We've seen the Gaels run those the bubble passes, and no one's getting there in a black jersey. There, number 20 for the Gaels, Matthews Reed, right on the receiver, trips them up. It's a minimal gain. That's what you want to do to now force Orr to have to look away from those quick release passes.
So 2nd and 2. It's going to be a handoff to Springer right up the middle. 1st down yardage into the Gales secondary up across the 40, and you see the speed of the young Waterloo running back there. Get it. That's its best gain here this afternoon's action for Waterloo.
By far, great job by Ethan Kara, Gadaro, and the center Martin just on that right side. Big hole, engaged defensive players, and no one was able to get to Singleton until the second level. Springer, sorry.
So it's going to bring in the 3-minute warning here. So from their own 44-yard line.
And then, you know, Waterloo, yes, you're down 25-0, but you get the ball back to start the second half. Real chance to get some momentum going here.
And it's going to be Orr rolling near side, looking deep downfield for Tim back, and the ball's underthrown. They're going to throw a flag on this play. Keegan Vanek on the coverage. Bill, that ball way underthrown, not at all catchable on that.
Well, I think that should be the discussion. Was he able to catch it? Unless he's calling him for holding. No, I think they're going to pick it up. That official's watching the two players, so he needs help on whether it's catchable or not, and we're going to see it. It's a great fake by Orr. He just, if the ball slipped or it's just didn't get a good release on it, and neither receiver was going to get to that football. So it's a good pickup, good discussion by the officials. And getting back to the whole thing about momentum at the end of the half, we've seen the Gaels struggle at the end of first halves, especially here at home this year.
Well, you talked about all 3 phases. Steve Snyder said all 3 phases for 60 minutes this week is the goal. Play action fake to Springer, and Orr is going to be wrapped up once again on the sack. This time it's going to be Stephen Capella coming through with his first sack of the season for Queens.
And again, it's the coverage, because as you watch this, Orr can't get his first release, and now Capella comes in. Springer tried to get over there to make the block, couldn't slow down Capella, but if a receiver could get open on the first look for Orr, he could have at least maybe thrown it away.
So Crossett last time a 56-yard punt with the wind. And this time we have St. Arnaud and Weir back. And it's going to be a bit of a wobbler. Going to bounce down to St. Arnaud down at his own 20. Trying to set up the return, coming near side. And he gets away from the first coverage man across the 40. He's going to be tackled finally there by Palma. But a nice job blocking for the Gaels that time to set up that return by Aiden Vint.
And Corsett is really working hard to try and get a roughing the kicker. He went down again pretty easily, 3rd time. But again, other than that one punt that he really got a hold of, this one bounces, it's inside the numbers, and it allows St. Arnaud to get going to the long side of the field.
So Gaels from their own 41. Waterloo showing pressure. Kasari bounces it outside across the 45, up near the 50. He goes over 100 yards on this afternoon's action just in the first half. It's going to make it 2nd down and 1.
See if the Gaels go hurry up. They've got both their timeouts left, 2:04. Clock's going to start as soon as it gets whistled in.
And on 2nd and short, Weir comes in for Leo.
So that shows you how the Gaels recognize that they're in their 2-minute offense, because on second and short, they're not even going to try a deep pass.
And it's going to be Weir. It's going to bounce off the right side. Bit of a different formation. Midfield, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Russell Weir.
What a great call. And you could see on the sideline Steve Snyder. I was thinking to myself, 2 yards is a lot for Russell Weir to get with the sneak. But what it was all about sucking everybody in like they sucked me in. Waterloo's defense thinks, okay, he's just going to go ahead, ducks down below the offensive line, and before you know it, watch it here, no hesitation. He's coming outside right. Looked like there might have been a hold that could have been called on the outside. It wasn't, and now you see why Russell Weir is on there for punt return. He can run, and he got into the open field, couldn't be caught. It's a great play call.
And Mullen boots it up and through, makes the score 32-0, 1:45 left to go. And, you know, when you have a young man like Russell Weir comes in, hoping to be sort of the next quarterback, and he had some time certainly last year at quarterback. Leo was really taking over the role after Vraken went down. But he goes to Coach Steve Snyder and he says, look, where else can I get on the field? Punt returning, and that you certainly see the reason why in the Gaels listing, he's listed as an athlete on that play when he goes downfield for that
and
run.
Wasn't his dad the exact same way? Rob Weir did it on whichever way he could help a team.
Now, does that mean we're going to see Russell Weir doing some of these pooch kicks on the near side like Rob Weir going back to the 90, 91, 92 teams?
Well, his last name's Weir, so if he realizes he can get on the field that way, he'll probably try. But it's just the timing of the play call, too. And it's sort of a microcosm of both these teams, certainly Waterloo's season, and I'll get to that after this kickoff.
So Mullen, he's going to boot it away. Coming down to Moore at his 15, goes back up to the middle of the field, now bouncing it outside. Nice job running downfield on the special teams play. Check that, Brandon Spence for the Gaels.
So I want to get back to that. Waterloo, you're having a tough season. You're 0-7. You're trying to spoil this Queen's homecoming today. So you come out, you've got an onside kick on the opening kickoff. You recover it, you run it perfectly except you're offside. The Gaels do their trick play, great timing on it with Russell Weir, and it goes for a touchdown. That's Waterloo's season in a nutshell, and why Chris Bertoya really wants this team to win today just to get some momentum from a tough year.
Or in the backfield, he's forced to scramble far side, looking deep downfield, and it is a nice catch by Aru going high to secure the reception. Actually, check that. It was Riley Webster. Coverage on the play that time by Matthews Reed.
What a great catch by Webster, because he could feel Vanek closing in on him to break that up. And he needed to come back a bit to it because Orr didn't get all of it when he released it. And to hang on to it, too, with Vanek right on him, that's just a great catch by the youngster.
Ethan Miller in at running back, motioning near side. Orr looking over the middle. He's going to scramble for it, trying to get a block to get away from Pace. And then Pace comes back along with Korskaden, but not until you see the speed of Nick Orr picking up 15 yards and a first down into the Gaels' end of the field.
I think Waterloo used one of their timeouts here. Give their quarterback a chance to catch his breath. I'll tell you, Justin Pace, you could tell Orr was wondering where 44 was because he knew at some point 44 is going to hit me, and they're just not, even when it takes a while for Justin to track you down, they're not soft tackles. He makes sure you know that 44 got you.
As Pace comes over the sideline to confer with the Gaels defensive coordinator Ryan Beckmanis before this next play. Again, as we said earlier, Pace, the leading tackler, really the heart and soul of that Gaels defense this year. 37 solo tackles, 27 assists. Coming into this afternoon's action, 5 tackles for loss, a couple sacks, a couple interceptions, and a forced fumble on the season for the Gaels' big number 44.
And according to the stats right now, that's his first solo tackle of the day.
Orr now looking over the middle, and he's going to get wrapped up. A team meeting at the quarterback that time. For the Gaels, it was Jackson, along with Mullins Grant, and also on the tackle for Queens that time, Josh McBain. Check that. It was Newell on the tackle that time.
Again, the secondary's just swallowing up these receivers.
2nd and 9. Orr looking quickly far side. He's got it complete, but shy of first down yardage with the reception.
But
on the play there is Tyler Tierney.
That pattern tells me that Chris Bertoya wasn't going to hesitate. This 3-down territory.
And some of discussion, if you will, after the play between the offensive and defensive linemen. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
Look like Hubert and Kara there. They've been chatting a couple of times.
The Warriors bring in an extra offensive lineman, Cameron Boulay, coming in.
Well, they're certainly by that substitution, they're showing run, but it's 3rd and a good 4. So you would think Orr's got to throw this unless he's looking for more protection.
Miller, the running back, fake to him. And Orr looking near side. He's going to get wrapped up again. Pace and Wishart coming away with the tackle on 3rd down for the Gaels, turning the ball back over to Queens.
And again, I don't think we'll get the look here, but it's his first look gets taken away from him again. And he's got to step up, and then the Gaels close the pocket. It's great work by the secondary, and I think it was Matthews Reed came underneath the first look with Vanek to take away that pass. And then you just bank on the rush getting to them from there. Now the Gaels, 46 seconds, 2 timeouts left. See if they can get some points.
Quamel, Falcone, Tuioti near side. On 1st down, Leo's going to be forced to scramble for it. Looks back over the middle, throws it low, and almost coming away with the interception on the play for Waterloo was Anasu Latmore, but the officials, Richard Book, the back judge on the near side, calling it an incomplete pass. And to go over our officials for this afternoon, Kevin Baird, the referee, Paul Duncan, the umpire, Ben Gannett, the down judge, Andre Leduc, the side judge, as we mentioned, Richard Book at back judge, and the field judge, Jason Riff.
And a great call by the official on that. As you could see on that fantastic replay by our crew, that he had it initially, just couldn't secure it.
So 2nd and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Kasari, and he's going to be get tackled. Good job done that time by the Waterloo defensive line, coming up off the bottom of the pile. Again, Marcus Zola with the tackle. Going to be forcing the Gaels to punt the ball away here on 3rd down.
And the right call by the Gaels. You're in control of this first half. Trying to get Waterloo to use that last timeout. I don't think they're going to, so you don't need to punt this till there's below 20 seconds left in the half.
So the 3rd punt here in this 2nd quarter.
They're going to come after it, though.
Driver gets it away. Nice punt into the wind. Haru just outside his 20. Secures the ball, trying to come near side. Across the 30, he's got a bit of a lane. Nice return that time by Haru all the way up to the Warrior 45-yard line. Just 3.5 seconds left to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, and I wonder if the Gaels punter could see that there was only one returner back there, because if he could and he was able to, the one side of the field was wide open, and by the time the returner got there, clock would be done. But still a good punt, good return by Waterloo. We'll see if they run a play or just go into halftime to regroup. They're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Gaels secondary standing at their own 35. This is being scrimmaged from the Waterloo 45. As Orr is back to pass, he's looking to get it. He's going to throw it underneath, and then just simply dropping the ball, failing to secure the reception is Tyler Tierney. That's going to be the final play of this first half, with the Gaels on top 32-0. Homecoming weekend, the final week of the regular season. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV.
We're looking forward to a great evening. It's a chance to obviously celebrate all the successes from this last year. We're really here, and the work we do is on behalf of the student athletes and their coaches. So a special shout out to the student athletes and the coaches in the room today.
She helped lead her team to the Quigley Cup title. The 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year is Brock Badger's volleyball standout, Sarah Roy. He was first team OUA All-Star, the 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year from the Guelph Griffins, Max Davis.
Sport has changed society. Sport does reproduce the dominant value conference in the country to make it work.
To my colleagues I've worked with in this room my whole time while at U Ottawa, thank you. It has been my pleasure to meet you, to learn from every single one of you, to get to know you, to share some good laughs together, and probably some tears too, through tough moments that we've all supported one another.
Congratulations to the 2023-24 J.P. Loosemore Award recipient, Carleton University's Jennifer Brennan.
I've been working in this industry for 36 years. It's been an incredible career. I've been so blessed and fortunate to work with so many great people, those that look out for me, those that welcomed me, and those that have supported me. Thank the OUA staff and board for this incredible honor.
It's a real pleasure to look back on everything that the folks in this room have accomplished here tonight over the course of the 23-24 OUA season, and it's really exciting to look forward. We've got some time off now, but we get to do it all again for the 24-25 season.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
looking forward to a great evening. It's a chance to obviously celebrate all the successes from this last year. We're really here, and the work we do is on behalf of the student athletes and their coaches. So a special shout out to the student athletes and the coaches in the room today.
She helped lead her team to the Quigley Cup title. The 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year is Brock Badger's volleyball standout, Sarah Roy. He was first team OUA All-Star, the 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year from the Guelph Griffins, Max Davis.
Sport has changed society. Sport does reproduce the dominant values in society, but that means if we get it right, then we become part of that. And so a good message tonight is a big thank you to our OUA staff who was charged with dealing with the biggest conference in the country to make it work.
To my colleagues I've worked with in this room my whole time while at U Ottawa, thank you. It has been my pleasure to meet you, to learn from every single one of you, to get to know you, to share some good laughs together, and probably some tears too, through tough moments that we've all supported one another.
Congratulations to the 2023-24 J.P. Loosemore Award recipient, Carleton University's Jennifer Brennan.
I've been working in this industry for 36 years. It's been an incredible career. I've been so blessed and fortunate to work with so many great people, those that look out for me, those that welcomed me, and those that have supported me. Thank the OUA staff and Gord for this incredible honor.
It's a real pleasure to look back on everything that the folks in this room have accomplished here tonight over the course of the 23-24 OUA season, and it's really exciting to look forward. We've got some time off now, but we get to do it all again for the 24-25 season.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
And good afternoon and welcome back to OUA TV's coverage of Gaels football. We're coming to you live from Richardson Stadium. This afternoon we're up in the Britton Smith Foundation Media Tower. My name's Don Lewis along with Bill Miklas, and just wrapping up a bit of an extended halftime celebration. Always the tradition this year honoring the classes ending with a 4 or a 9. Alumni all the way back to the 1950s that were out on the field at halftime. A special shout out to my friends and classmates from Science 89 as we're celebrating our 35 this year. Bill, as we take a look at some of the keys from that first half, Gaels up on top of the visiting Waterloo Warriors 32-0. Really other than a couple of times from Waterloo we got a stop, Gaels really having their way in that first half.
No, and the first one, get your mojo back on. For Waterloo, could this have been a different first half if they weren't offside on the opening kickoff and were able to retain possession? They recover. If you're just joining us, the opening kickoff on an onside kick. It's brought back because of a penalty against Waterloo for offside, and the Gaels return the subsequent kickoff to midfield, and from that point on, they've dominated the first 30 minutes. Hoko fun. It's been lots for this Queens crowd. It's a gorgeous day, and their university team is, as I said, having their way when you look statistically at just barely over 100 yards of offense that they've given up, and in turn almost 300 yards of offense. Some great touchdown plays, culminated by the one at the end of the first half by Russell Weir on the second and short that he took 50-plus yards for a touchdown. And the third one, dance with who you brought. And Gaels, it's all about their running game. And Jared Kasseri, over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. Russell Weir, of course, has 64, 60 of that on his touchdown run. And Anthony Lynn has been consistent, hasn't made any mistakes back there, 6 of 10 for 96 yards. Other than a missed field goal and a stop in the first quarter by Waterloo's defense on a 3rd and goal, Gaels have played a pretty perfect football game. For Waterloo, I think the biggest struggle for them has been they have been competitive predominantly, other than their season opening game in London against Western. In the first quarter, they've been in the game for a good quarter and a half, and then they have a 5 to 10 minute period that just seems to bury them for the rest of the game, and they're having to claw their way back. This time the Gaels just jumped on them after that opening kickoff that got taken back, and Waterloo will get the ball first to start the second half, and it'll be interesting to see if they can build some momentum. Nick Orr, statistically, obviously, 6 of 11 is pretty good, 67 yards, but the sacks are the big thing. He's been sacked 5 times, and it's been a total team effort by the Gaels defensively. Those sacks have come from taking away Nick Orr's initial look, and then other than maybe one by Newell right off the bat where Orr didn't even have a chance to look for a receiver, everything else has sort of been when he brings his eyes down to try and find after his first look's taken away, he's getting sacked. So it's the last game of the year for Waterloo, and I think Chris Bertoya talked to both of us about it this week, about just trying to get some sort of positive feeling into the offseason. They've been competitive in, other than that season opener against Western, and probably he would say this first half against the Gaels, they've been in every football game. They're, as you said in the opening, the best 0-7 team, I think, in the country. But they've got a mountain to climb here in this second half. They'll start with the ball, see what they can do.
I think certainly on the Gaels side, Steve Snyder said he got what he wanted in that first half. He got all three phases clicking. You talked about the job done by the partnership between the secondary and the D-line with those sacks. Obviously, great job on offense, great job with special teams and that. And the other thing, though, he said he wanted to see it, not just three phases for 60. What will we see here in the second half? As Mullen, a little bit of a short kick. It's going to come down to Waterloo coming up to make the return at his own 30. It's going to be Jose Ogunjinmi, and that's where the Warriors are going to get this second half started from their 31-yard line. That's almost in that Rob Weir-esque length of kick on that play there for the Gaels. So Gaels showing something a little bit different there on that initial kickoff to get this second half started. Again, the Gaels win this game this afternoon, and they are going to secure the 5th place in the OU in the regular season. Springer, lone man behind Orr right now on this first down, and it's going to be a handoff to Springer, and he gets wrapped up maybe after about a 2-yard gain. Eric Johnson and Van Wishart in on the tackle that time for Queens.
And again, another of the problems when you're down big to start the second half, Gaels can sort of pin their ears back. Defensive coordinator Ryan McManus can throw some different things at Nick Orr. And again, the story of the first half was the line play, and the Gaels have controlled both sides, and they show it there on that first down play.
Second and long, 8.5 to go here. Quick pass out near side intended for Basiliga, and overthrowing his leading receiver. It was Ashton Miller-Melanson on the coverage that time. It's going to force the Warriors into third and long, and bringing on Crissette to punt the ball for the 6th time this afternoon.
Well, Orr's late on that release. His receiver, that ball needs to be there, and it's behind him, but I think it needs to be out quicker. But again, the coverage is there. The Gaels secondary has just been phenomenal this afternoon.
So 39.5 yards averaged on those 6 punts in the first half, and he's going to add to it here. Nice spiraling punt and a perfect punt. And that, if you're playing football, if you're playing rugby, one bounce and out of bounds inside the Gaels 20 at their own 19-yard line.
No return. We've talked about it all season long in our home games, about getting it outside the numbers, and you could see the special teams coach talking to Crissette there saying, that's what we want from you. Wind at his back, did everything perfectly there.
So Gaels inside their 19. Kasari is in there, in behind Anthony Leo. As Bill said earlier, Kasari 111 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Leo looking near side for Falcone, throwing nice coverage on the play that time by Anisu Latmore. And coverage on Falcone that time, going to make it second and long. Ball wobbling a little bit in the air.
That was a long throw into the wind, and Waterloo had that bracketed underneath with Blackson and with Latmore over top.
So Quemo and Falcone near side. Tuioti, Camillo, and Walton far side for Queens. And Leo's going to be forced to scramble near side looking for Falcone. Short hops to him. So 2 quick passes, and the Gaels are going to be punting the ball back over to the Warriors.
Both times Leo didn't get a good release on that football. First one, as you said, long throw here. He just short arms it a bit. Falcone had beaten his man and just underthrew him.
So
probably the best field position coming up for Waterloo.
Haru is standing at his own, outside his own 45, even though Driver's kicking into the wind here and just gets it away as Driver is down on the field after that punt, and he's shaken up. No flag on the play.
I don't know
wonder
how
if the ball was tipped, maybe. That's the only way that you could get away with contacting the punter and not getting a flag.
Well, one of 2 things happened there. Our young punter is still learning how to act his way to a roughing the punter, or the official just missed that. And it was hard to tell on the replay, and he's certainly favoring his leg like they got in there. But you might be right, Donnie. If they got a piece of that, then punter's on his own.
Either way, Warriors with their best field position to start a drive this afternoon at the Gaels 31. Quickly outside on the pass to Tyler Tierney. And a nice gain on first down. Gets down inside Queens 25. Sorry, checked out, apologize, out to the 27, so it'll be second and a long 5.
The interesting thing here will be, is this 3-down territory, or do they just want to get some points on the board? And we'll find out on this second down play.
So Springer, I formation in behind his quarterback Orr. Basiliga motioning near side along with Samuel Slocum. Orr looking over the middle, a high pass complete to Samuel Slocum inside the 10. It's going to be first and goal all the way down to the Gale 5-yard line before Josh McBain was able to wrap up, as they call him, Sam Slow, given the length of his name on the back of his jersey. But nice play there for the Warriors.
Great play by Nick Orr to stand in there. The pressure's coming, as you see. He knows he's going to get hit, but he waited for his receiver to come open. And Waterloo is threatening.
Trying to get their first points of this afternoon's action. Springer. And in at the H-back position is Ogunjinmi. It's going to be handoff to Springer right up the middle. He gets bottled up and now we're able to rumble forward. And all the way down about the 1.5-yard line.
Springer did a great job, kept his legs moving, so the referees couldn't say that his forward progress had been stopped, and got a lot more out of that than you initially thought.
So Andrew Mullins-Grant on second and very short is going to check in along with Wishart. And Eric Johnson sprinting into the formation. Johnson having to sprint off near side. Steve Snyder coming down, realize he's shy of man, calling a timeout. So good job done by the Warriors to get their goal line packaging quickly on second down.
You're exactly right. That's not a fault of anyone. That's just Waterloo recognizing and running to the line and catching the Gaels and forcing them to call the timeout. See if on this second down play, Waterloo tries to do something, get Orr outside of the pocket and a short little pass. I would think they'd want to go to his number one receiver, but maybe use him as the decoy.
By the name of?
Evan.
Basiliga. There we go. And again, the Gaels, a little bit of confusion again, subbing guys off at the last second. Basiliga is just to the right of Orr. He's now motioning to the other side, and now it's actually going to be one big man carry up the middle. It's going to be Daniel Dove.
We're seeing it all today. I love that play.
And he gets stopped after about a half yard, so it's going to be third and goal from the 1.
If it was it's a second and goal, I'd do it again, but third down. Can't afford it.
So bringing in a number of H-backs and additional running backs.
And clearly on that play, you're just trying to catch the defensive line.
Or under center this time. He takes it right up the middle. There's a flag on the play. No call for a touchdown yet. There is a flag on the near side. Now the touchdown signal comes in as Orr able to keep his feet going.
Gaels
and
were offside.
It's offside is the initial signal on the field. And a lot of pushing and shoving after that play, but good job done by Orr, able to keep his feet going. Confirmed offside, touchdown for Orr. 9:46 left to go here in the third quarter as the Warriors get their first points of this afternoon.
Well, I have to say, I'm surprised on both these plays how long forward progress has gone without being whistled. But again, as you said, Orr keeps his feet moving, and we'll watch it here. He stopped initially, and then close to a tandem buck by Springer, and Orr, did the ball come loose, I wonder? No. And then just the body's going. Can't see how he got in, but he got in.
So the 5'7", 173-pound long snapper Eugene Park gets it back to, and it's Cressette putting the ball through, and it's the other number 16, Riley Webster, as Nathan Falcone does for the Gaels, is the holder for the Warriors.
And we've talked about all year, and we talk every year, Donnie, how important special teams are. That touchdown drive set up by the best punt of the day by Corsett, the Waterloo punter. He gets it out of bounds, keeps the Gaels pinned deep. They don't go anywhere. Poor punt by Queens sets up Waterloo at the 30, and next thing you know, you're in the end zone. That starts with the great punt.
So now for the Gaels, if they're wanting to get back to what Steve Snyder had been talking about through the week and through their bye week, focus on fundamentals, all three phases for 60 minutes. They now need to respond with this upcoming drive here. St. Arnaud and Dahl standing back at their 10.
And the problem for Waterloo is you've already done the onside kick at the beginning of the game, so the Gaels are going to play like there's going to be an onside kick.
You have to watch. The wind is at their back, so Corsett certainly has the leg to boot this into the Gaels' end zone. And indeed he does. Gets it over the head of St. Arnaud, about 5 yards deep. Out to the 10, 15, makes a move, 20, 25. Now he's got room near side, 40. All the way up to the 50, and for the second time this afternoon, it's Cole Corsett having to knock out the Gaels' return man, Ian St. Arnaud, with a 65-yard return to give Gaels great field position.
And just the way he maneuvers his way through this. Watch this replay. I wondered why he thought maybe he should give up the single, but look at it, just lets his block set up, quick feet, breaks a tackle there, and away he goes, and it forces the kicker to make the hit, and another phenomenal return.
From their 54, low snap, handoff, Kasari up the middle, makes a move into the secondary. Waterloo 50, 45, down to the 43-yard line before he's wrapped up on the play by Latmore.
Speaking of quick feet, say it all the time about number 29.
And an injured Warrior on the field, Keyshawn Bowen, their strong side linebacker, shaken up after that play. Bill, while we're waiting, maybe we can start to update some of the out-of-town scores. Ottawa on top, up in Ottawa at the end of the first half, 25-0. York have come back to take a lead on McMaster, 14-10. The winner of that game, if the other scores stay the way they are right now, will secure the final playoff spot. Western at the end of the first half, 23-5 lead over Windsor, and Laurier also at the end of the first half, 24-10. In the other action up in Ottawa as they take on the Carleton Ravens.
And probably the biggest surprise that potentially Stefan Potasic and McMaster could maybe miss the playoffs again.
But credit Dexter Janke and the job he's done with the York Lions this year. On first down, it's another handoff again to Kasari. Slowed down after he got inside the 40, down about the 39-yard line. A lot of pushing and shoving here. Now lots of flags coming out, and this is something that we've seen brewing up to this point. Now things boiling over here as we move into the second half.
What happened here is the officials lost sight of the ball. Kasari got tripped up quick, and I don't think anybody realized. Let's watch this again. So he gets tackled right there, but the whistle never goes. So everybody's going with their blocks, and that's what turns – you can see the Waterloo players reacting, but the whistle never went. So he's doing his block, and now I always say in these situations – you can't have offsetting because somebody started it, and That's usually the mantra these days with the officials. Only give it to one person. But it looks like they gave it to both. But again, I think that started with everyone lost sight of the ball, including the officials. And because the whistle never blew, blockers kept blocking, tacklers kept fighting against those blocks, and then the tempers frayed.
You can be sure Gaels head coach Steve Snyder is going to say, guys, you got to keep your heads here. You don't want to get an ejection and possibly have to miss that first-round playoff matchup. 2nd and 6 upcoming. Leo back to pass, setting up the screen, and nice play coming upfield to knock it down is James Hinsberger, one of the defensive captains for Waterloo. It's going to force the Gaels into a 3rd down punting situation.
That's a great play by Hinsberger. Just comes in, doesn't fall for anything, and then able to knock the pass down. In hindsight, I'm sure Leo's thinking, if I could have got him in the air, gotten outside, who knows, but lots happening on that play.
Again, Hinsberger was really one of the defensive leaders of the Warriors coming into the season, gets injured earlier in the season. He goes out from the middle linebacker position. They've seen the emergence of Michael Omaseni as really now the leader of the Warrior defense, and now they have both with Hinsberger now back in as well. And again, Driver gets hit, and this time there is a flag as it comes down to Rue. He gets tackled right away, but unfortunately for the Gaels, Matt Driver is really shaken up just inside the midfield stripe there. Expect this will be in the area of a roughing the punter, which would give the Gaels a 1st down and extend the drive.
Well, and it's not the first hit he's taken. Last 2 punts he's kicked, he's been hit. This time a lot harder than the previous time. Definitely warranted a penalty. Can't fault Waterloo. They're trying to come after him. He is slow getting the ball away. But
so that penalty extends the drive 15 yards downfield all the way down to the Waterloo 24-yard line.
Update from Hamilton. Donnie McMaster has scored a touchdown and taken a 3-point lead on York. 6 minutes left, 3rd quarter in that one.
So fake handoff to Kasari. Leo looking deep in the end zone for Quamo. Touchdown! Nico Quamo goes up and battles the defensive back on the play, Isaiah Blackson, and Quamo comes away with the touchdown for the Gaels, his 1st of the season.
That's a heck of a throw, too, by Leo. We're going to watch this on the replay because it's not awful coverage by Isaiah Blackson. But he drops it in the bucket. But as you say, Quamo's fighting, they're hand fighting, so there's no interference there. But that's a great pass and a great route run by Quamo, and good for the veteran to finally get a touchdown this season.
So Leo's 2nd touchdown pass of this afternoon, and as Mullen puts the ball up and through, and earlier this season having a chance to talk to Gaels head coach Steve Snyder and the value that Quamo does blocking. Oftentimes you'll see Quamo, one of those motion men, to open up those holes for Kasari, and really has been one of the keys, one of the guys that's really been able to stay healthy throughout the season as well from that receiver position, and kind of getting away the credit, as you said, hand fighting and coming away with that touchdown reception.
Because I want to repeat, Blackson had pretty good coverage. There's been other times today where the Waterloo secondary, especially in the 1st quarter, wasn't near Gaels receivers, but that time that had to be a perfect pass and a tough catch. And it all happened for the Gaels, and a good answer to the touchdown by Waterloo, but again, set up by the roughing the punter.
So again, back to receive is Moore. And actually, again, it's the short kick. It bounces off the Waterloo receiver, and there's a scramble for it, and the Gaels come away with it. It's the 2nd time this afternoon kicking into the wind where Tyler Mullen with that kind of short kick. This time the up man, and the initial signal was Gaels. Waterloo saying, no, it indeed is the Gaels. Coming away with it on the play for Queens, Jared Seaway, ironically enough, playing this afternoon with a club on his left hand.
Well, and it's a great kick because you'll see, or you saw on the replay, it's at a height towards a player who's not used to catching the football. And it just gobbled him up, and when it bounced off of him, there are the Gaels to pounce, and it's another break for Queens, first turnover of the game.
Isaiah Adams has carried the ball 4 times for 15 yards in the backfield right now. Make it number 5. He gets wrapped up right away. Nice play right at the point of attack coming up quickly. Jack Lausch along with Divine Ugo.
I've been really impressed with Jack Lausch the last little bit of this football game, playing the middle of that defensive line. He's just been plugging up the middle, and Kasari's a little quicker, more of a veteran, and he can bounce off those. Adams got tied up and was going nowhere. Great play by Lausch.
Gaels resetting the cadence. Leo, quick pass looking over the middle to Iodi. He's got it complete, but shy of first down yardage as he gets down to the 29-yard line. And the Gaels looks like they're going to be going for a field goal attempt here for Mullen.
Well, again, Mullen missed his only attempt today, so if you want to get everybody right for the playoffs, especially your place kicker, because odds are it's going to come down to key special teams plays in the quarterfinals next Saturday.
So right at the 35, Gillingham again the long snapper, Falcone the holder. And Waterloo motioned at the line of scrimmage. There's a flag,
I think this is
it
on
might be against the
Latmore.
Gaels.
No, I think it's on Latmore.
Okay,
I think Latmore encroached, and this is going to be a first down for Queens.
Absolutely. So the second time here in the second half, a Waterloo penalty on third down extends a Gaels drive.
Latmore knew it, too. He just wanted to get a quick jump coming from the outside to try and block it. And the Gaels long cadenced and got him to jump. And once he jumped and broke the neutral zone, it was an offside.
Kasari back in at running back. He's now up to 128 yards here this afternoon. As we mentioned earlier, in the first half, he moved past Brad Elberg for career rushing yardage as a Gael into 6th place. Leo back to pass. He's going to be forced to scramble near side, looking in the end zone. And it intended on the play that time for the Gaels H-back James Preston, and just as the ball arrived, he got contacted by the defensive back, negating what would have been another touchdown.
Leo just didn't see him soon enough. He's scrambling, then he sees him open, and it takes too long to get there and allows the Waterloo player to close in, make the play.
Preston, 4 receptions for 41 yards this season for Queens. So Leo straight back, looking over the middle. He's got it complete down inside the 10. Making the reception is Logan Walton. Gaels' rookie receiver who's really had to step in with some injuries earlier in the season.
Great scheme here by the Gaels. Walton's pattern comes sort of late into what's been vacated by the DBs because they're worried about Falcone. And Leo saw it, makes a great completion, moves the sticks.
So 1st and goal. Ball spotted just outside the Waterloo 7-yard line. Kasari just to the left of Leo. Camilo in motion. Kasari takes it up the middle, bounces a bit outside, now makes a move at the 3, down to the 2, before he's finally wrapped up shy of the goal line by Isaac Porter.
Mortensen had a hold of him, but again, you don't wrap up those legs. Kasari's going to keep him moving, and he's strong. And you'll watch here, Mortensen gets a hold, but he keeps going, and it's a good job by the follow-up by Porter to get him down. You would think 2-9's going to get it again.
It would be number 3 for this afternoon, the second hat trick of touchdowns if he does this season. Indeed it is, right up the middle, down to the goal line, and he tries to back his way into the end zone, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. As this is the second time this afternoon, the Warriors' defense have really stiffened inside their 5-yard line.
Well, again, the way Lausch is playing in the middle and Omaseni behind him, and Kasari almost lost the football there, so that might have slowed down that play as well.
So the Gaels, sorry, Bill, go ahead.
But I think if you're the Gaels, you want to go outside because Lausch and Omasemi are doing such a good job inside pushing the line.
So they bring in Weir in the jumbo package here. However, Kasari's still in the backfield as well. And Weir is going to go off the right side again as he did in the first half. Not 60 yards this time, but 1.
It's a hold
for the touchdown, and you're right, right in the middle of the formation.
I think that got missed the last time to help him get to the outside. And this time the referee, Kevin Baird, was right there. Let's see if we can see it on the replay. And he bounces out, and yes, there's the hold right there by the Gaels' number 37, James Preston. Just had a bear hug, and now they'll kick the field goal.
So moves the ball back to the Warrior 11-yard line. So it'll be actually an 18-yard attempt. And on that prior one with the offside flag, Mullen would have missed that kick, so we want to see him getting things back on track here. High snap. Falcone gets it down. Mullen puts it up and through, making the score now 42-7. 3:11 left to go here in the third quarter. So Waterloo, they go down, they get that touchdown. When Gaels head coach Steve Snyder talking about 60 minutes now. You've seen 2 scoring drives coming back right after that, though.
Yeah, and again, I think that's the youth of Waterloo and just sort of the way their season's gone. They just have those moments where they can't get out of their own way. That pooch kickoff, you control that, you've traded touchdowns, and you've got the ball back. Instead, the Gaels drive down. Now, you only gave up a field goal, but it still furthers the Gaels' lead and puts you in more of a, especially with the clock running down now as we're getting late in the third quarter, we're getting into a situation where the Gaels can pin their ears back.
So we're just going to maybe take a look at sort of the way the playoff bracket would maybe start to set up now as most of the scores are up big. We're, into the middle of the third quarter. Again, the lead here, Ottawa on top of Toronto, 38-0. Western 23-5 lead still over Windsor. Laurier 38-15.
So Western would get the 2 seed. They'd play what looks like right now the winner of the Mac York game. Ottawa would go to Guelph, Guelph. And then because Guelph beat Windsor, Windsor would host Queens. And I get back to this point that, we'll talk about it after this play, but you don't think when the season starts in August that those first games are going to mean anything, but they can mean the world. And I'll get on that after this play.
So it's going to be handoff on the delay. Coming upfield, nice gain is Miller. He's actually going to get stopped shy after about 3 yards on first down there.
And let me get back to that. So August 24th, season starts. Gaels go to Windsor. Lose a tough one. Had a chance to win it late. It's just the first game of the year. Well, that result is the reason they're going to Windsor and the Lancers aren't coming here for the quarterfinals next week. So it's a chance for the Gaels to get revenge for that August game. But it shows you play 8 games, the season starts quick on you, and those first games can be important.
2nd and 7. Looking near side quick, route taken away, or forced to scramble with it. Wishart in on the chase, throwing it deep downfield. It falls out of bounds. Great job by the Gaels secondary that time.
Yeah, they've been brilliant all day, Donnie. They've just taken away everything in the way of looks for Nick Orr at quarterback, and Gaels have been able to get pressure on him.
Gaels head coach Steve Snyder, and one of your keys, we're talking about wanting to get things going again, getting that mojo going. You're going up against a Windsor team who, if the score stays the same, they would have had 3 successive losses going into the playoffs. Punt coming down to St. Arnaud, a wobbler outside his 30. And again, they're trying this return right, and he gets wrapped up. Actually, after losing a couple yards in that return, quickly downfield on the coverage.
I thought there was no yards
Jaden
there.
Allen Smith.
I think that's why he picked it up when he did. That's why he's saying as he comes to the sideline that they were within 5 yards. And watch it here. I mean, there's a Waterloo player right there at 4 yards and another one. So, missed call. They happen. But we'll get back to what you were talking about with Windsor and next week, Donnie, after this play.
So Leo from the Gaels' 31-yard line. He had all time to throw. Here's a flag in the backfield as he just drops it off to Kasari, and he's going to lose about 4 yards. Look to be in the area of a hold. I'd expect Waterloo probably to turn this down.
I would think they would. And it sure looked like a hold from here.
So great job that time by the Warriors secondary, able to really blanket the Gaels receivers. Indeed, they turned it down, so it's going to be 1st and 14. But yeah, you know, end up losing Guelph. Yeah, yes, they had the toughest part of the schedule finished, but Guelph, Laurier, Western, 3 successives.
Same thing happened to them last year. They closed out the season on a bit of a slide and ended up winning that 4-5 game, but then got knocked out. And I think they've been riding their defense. And the Gaels could have won that game, remember. They had chances.
Leo pumps, now scrambling near side, and he's just going to throw it downfield. Camillo catching it, but out of bounds. Again, nice job done on 2 successive plays by this Waterloo Warrior secondary.
Clearly their best defensive series of the game. And we've got some talking back and forth between 52 Miller and DeVries, and DeVries lost his helmet. So I think upset about that.
So Driver, we've seen a couple of punts this afternoon. He takes some time getting rid of that ball.
Some.
Aru standing back outside his 40.
They're going to come again.
And he gets it away, bit of a wobbler. And it's going to bounce out of bounds at the Gaels' 52-yard line. So you wonder if Driver a little bit nicked up.
Well, I think
a couple of those times he's been contacted.
I think he's nicked up, and he wants to get rid of it because he's been hit the previous 2 times he's kicked the football. Getting back to Windsor Queens, we were talking about during the week. In the 2 years that 7 teams have made the playoffs and only first place has gotten the bye, home team is 12-0 in the playoffs in the OUA. I think either the 4 seed, either the Gaels or the 6 seed are going to win next week, but it's still home field means a lot in these playoffs.
Okay, first down play, and actually in a quarterback now is Nolan Caban, who's been carrying things the last few games. There is a flag on the play in the area, I believe, of a hold potentially against Waterloo.
Came out right away. It's hands to the face, actually. But if Guelph will be home to Ottawa if these scores stay the way they are.
They did not meet in the regular season, so
no.
it'll be the first time that they go up against each
But
other.
I think certainly the Gaels and Windsor played such a long time ago, and the Gaels, yes, they could be using Leo at quarterback, but they had their opportunities to win that game offensively.
So Caban has time. Now he's forced to scramble near side. He's getting pressured on the play, and he goes down under the tackle of Brady Spafford. And Spafford a little bit slow to get up after that play.
I think his ankle jammed in the turf. It looked like he reached for his knee, and he goes down.
And it's going to be 2nd and Napanee here for the Warriors, and that's the final play, actually, of the third quarter. So the score after the first 45, 42-7 for the Gaels on top of the visiting Warriors. You're watching Gaels football on OUA TV. Welcome back to Gaels football on OUA TV. My name's Don Lewis along with Bill Miklas, and actually at the end of that third quarter, because of the injury to Spafford, there was in essence an untimed play, incomplete pass, as we can see it here on the replay.
Call it for us, Don.
Caban, back to pass, looking far side.
God, this play takes a while.
And actually, this is the sack actually going over that, where you see Spafford using, you can see his speed coming up from the secondary to make the tackle. But again, believe us, it was indeed an incomplete pass to the far side of the field, and the Warriors are now going to be forced to punt on 3rd and 23 going into the wind here to get this fourth quarter started. Again, scores 42-7, Gaels on top of the Warriors.
I doubt the Gaels will come after the punt anymore. I think they want to try and set up.
They actually have Cale Warren back to receive along with St. Arnaud, and a nice punt off of the foot of Crossett. St. Arnaud back inside his 25. Tries to make a move right at the where he caught the ball. Great job downfield quickly was Mason Henry with the initial hit, and then some of his special teams mates come up to wrap up St. Arnaud for a 1-yard return on that punt.
Great play by Mason Henry. This is another phenomenal punt by Corset. And watch Henry. Doesn't end up making the tackle, but really breaks up any chance of a big return by St. Arnaud.
So Adams is the running back right now along with Leo. It's going to be Adams bouncing it outside, tries to get around the tackler, making a nice job on the play there. And a man we've been calling his name a lot this afternoon, Michael Omasani, limiting Adams to just a 1-yard gain on first down.
And you wonder how much longer Anthony Leo will play in this fourth quarter. I'd be surprised if we see any more of Jared Kasari, with the Gaels having their second season starting next week in Windsor. Need all hands on deck. And then, you know, obviously this week the worry will be starting quarterback Alex Braken.
So Leo back to pass, looking deep over the middle for Camillo, and it bounces off of his hands, and then Camillo takes a shot to the head after the play, as the play was ending from the back, Isaac Porter. That's going to be another first down to extend the drive for the Gaels.
It's always tough for the defender in this situation, but Porter's got to be smarter than this. He goes right for the head. No question about that penalty. And a dangerous, dangerous hit by Porter.
And Camillo had been slowed earlier in the season with an ankle injury, and came back and had a great game 2 weeks ago against Laurier with a long touchdown reception from Leo. So going back, Bill, when you're talking about Kasari and maybe not seeing much of him anymore this afternoon, 16 carries, 134 yards, and 2 TDs. So not a bad 8.5 yard per carry average this afternoon for the Gaels' big number 29.
And you got to believe next week for both Windsor and Queens, he will be one of the keys to whoever wins. If Windsor shuts him down, they've got a great shot. If he runs rampant on the Lancers, Gaels are playing another week.
7th penalty against the Warriors. 3 of them giving the Gaels a first down. Long pass to Walton. Beautiful catch near side. Even under the coverage of Isaiah Blackson. First down all the way down to the Waterloo 26-yard line.
Blackson has the coverage here again, but watch Walton high point this football. He goes back. He knows he's being defended, but he high points it. He shields with his body. It's a great reception by a young receiver getting some minutes.
And again, Walton, as we said earlier, stepping in after the earlier injuries to Jack Ashby-Jacobs and Cedric Smith. It's his 6th reception of the season. Handoff to Adams. Adams up the middle. Nice carry into the Waterloo secondary all the way down to the 12-yard line, where eventually it's going to be wrapped up on the play by Porter. And unfortunately, in behind the play, a Warrior injured. Waiting to get the number.
And I'll tell you, Lausch and Kara are having a battle up front every play. They're just, and it's tough. You're on that defensive line like Lausch is, and you're banging and banging and banging, and we'll watch this again. Great patience shown by Adams and some good toughness.
Adams 29 yards this afternoon on 7 carries.
And again, going back, Donnie, to the game in August between Windsor and Queens. Remember, the Gaels had some turnovers. They had the ball late with a chance to win, turned it over. I think if you're Windsor, you're going to love that the Gaels have to drive a long way to play you. You're going to have the home crowd, but you're going to need your defense to play another phenomenal game like they did back in August.
And Marcus Miller, the Warrior, injured. He's able to walk off under his own steam.
A field goal in Hamilton. McMaster's up 6 now on York with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
So ball spotted at the Warrior 11-yard line. Low snap. Leo rolling to the far side. He's got some green in front of him, and then he gets down about the 8-yard line, and he's pressured out of bounds by Omaseni. It's going to make it 2nd and 7.
So I think this was going to Tuioti, and you'll see he goes in motion, and it's read well by 28 of Waterloo, Porter, and takes that away, and Anthony's got to just get what he can get, and they'll do 2nd and 7.
Ashton Watson checking in on 2nd down for the Gaels. Falcone out. Leo looking in the end zone, and it's going to be an interference flag on this play as Preston Martin had no chance as Porter came across, contacting him on the play.
This is no win for the DB, and Porter is arguing it, but you watch on the replay. Watch the receiver stop. He's playing the ball. Porter never turns his head, runs into the receiver first. It's an automatic interference. It's a tough break for Porter because he played it well. He just had to get his head around, and he didn't, and now the Gaels have 1st and goal at the 1.
So they're going to bring in their jumbo packets. Simon Doncaster comes in along with Liam Silverson. Russell Weir again at the quarterback. We've seen this bounce this outside a couple times.
Well, again, I mean, Waterloo has been tough up the middle. Normally I'd say this is going to Dahl. He's going straight up the middle, and they're going to score a touchdown. But Waterloo has been so good jamming the middle on these short plays. I wonder if Weir just keeps it.
And indeed, that's going to be the case. He does go up the middle, and touchdown. Russell Weir, his second of this afternoon for the Gaels. That's going to extend the lead to 48-7. 11:28 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Again, so tough for the defense. They have to give a yard. The ball's at the 1. Weir's just got to break the plane of the goal line with the football. So I think in the Gaels' previous attempts, they've tried to run it up the middle. This time they just kept it simple, and they get the 6 points, and Weir's got his second touchdown of the game.
And Falcone on the hold for Mullen to do the kicking. Gillingham again, the long snapper for Queens. And Mullen, for the third time this afternoon, gives the fans in the Bob McFarland Plaza a football to chase after, and the Gaels now extend it to 49-7. Want to go back to one of the players you're talking about having, some good battles on that offensive defensive line. Really one of the emotional leaders of the Gaels offensive line, Jazz Cara. He was out for that game at the beginning of the season, and you had a new rookie, Simon Doncaster, first year playing, and talking to Snyder after that game, saying, look, we had to do, some other things that maybe didn't give us the way we wanted to start off by having to do some chipping, helping out. Doncaster's really come on through the season, but now you have Cara coming back to really lead at that left tackle position.
Yeah, I think other than Alex Braken, the Gaels are probably their healthiest they've been all season. And going in against Windsor, I'm sure they'll have some things that they've changed up. But you made a great point earlier. They're going to be on a bit of a low. They'll have lost some games in a row. So the road team is due to win a playoff game.
This time Mullen boots it deep, and this time it goes over the head of Moore, and that now is going to extend the Gaels' advantage to 50-7, 11:28 in the fourth quarter to go.
Getting back to that, Donnie, we talk about 12-0 for the home team the last 2 years in the playoffs, and I think, again, we do Gaels home games, so we're a little biased when it comes to the tricolor, but I think they've got a real shot. I think, if you talk to the Gaels, other than the long drive to Windsor, this is the matchup they probably wanted in the quarterfinals, and they're going to get Windsor off on a losing streak.
Caban handoff to Vanderveen, and he gets met right at the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Hiscox coming up to make the tackle. Just about a half-yard gain on the play for Vanderveen.
And if the Gaels were to win next week, it's probably a trip to Laurier, who will be coming off a bye. Maybe you get them rusty early. I mean, they call the second season a second season for a reason. It's going to be some interesting playoffs, and we can talk about the other matchups. But Gaels certainly getting positive mojo, as we talked about in our keys from today.
Basiliga in motion to the far side. Waterloo receiver way offside on the play, not called. Caban now motion, rolling far side, looking deep downfield, and it's tipped away. Tremendous defensive back play that time by Dawson Matthews-Reed, intended on the play for Tyler Tierney.
Want to show this replay as opposed to Porter getting the interference earlier against the Gaels. Watch Reed turn his head as this ball's in flight. Hopefully we'll get it. Watch him turn his head right there. Knocks down the ball, but even if he doesn't knock down the ball, he's at least playing the ball, and therefore no interference. Porter never turned his head. Great play by Dawson Reed.
So Cressette on to punt once again. St. Arnaud standing at his 35. Another nice punt off the boot of Cressette. St. Arnaud back to his 30. And doing this long return across the field, and he gets tripped up. Second time this afternoon that's happened. Nice play downfield. Delroy and Jongwo with a nice special teams tackle for the Warriors.
Very nice play. Because you could tell that St. Arnaud was setting them up for the wide side of the field on this return. And they kept good contain, and then a nice watch here. Great shoestring tackle. That was great special teams coverage by Waterloo.
And Bill, you were asking earlier how much longer Anthony Leo will be in there. He is still in there with 9:40 to go here in the fourth. And it's going to be handoff on the play to Adams. Adams bounces it outside, has a crease up across the 40, across the 45 before he's wrapped up, but that's a nice first down carry for another first down by the Gaels, number 0.
Tell you, I like this young man. You can only get better practicing behind Jared Kasari, but Adams shows great quickness and maybe not the same power as Kasari, but quick feet, finds the hole as well, and you just get a sense that he can break a long one.
Again, Adams this time off the right side of the formation. Shorter gain this time before he's going to be wrapped up. Lausch once again making a tackle for the Warriors. And Adams again, this is his second year for the Gaels, was hurt for much of the first part of the season. Came in for the first time against Laurier. And, some depth as well behind Kasari. You saw it, Gursey McDonald didn't dress the last 2 weeks. Not because he's injured, it's because the Gaels really now have 4 good running backs along with Dahl and Kasari.
Well, and Chris Bertoia said to us this week, the Gaels have probably one of the biggest offensive lines in the country. And you use that in the running game in the playoffs in Canada, goes a long way.
So fake handoff. And Leo's going to try and scramble for it far side, and he's got it. Almost complete on the play, in and out of the hands that time of Quentin George, who had actually done a nice job when he saw his quarterback starting to scramble. Instead of staying with the out, takes it upfield, unable to secure the reception, and the Gaels are going to punt it away.
Well, it was a good comeback by Henry. Difference between his play and Porter's, yes, he doesn't turn his head, but he doesn't also interfere with the receiver, and he made a play on the ball.
So Driver this time punting with the breeze. It's probably stiffened up to about 20 kilometers an hour now. Gets it away. Nice high punt, forcing Haru back inside his 15. And Gillingham, the long snapper, downfield to make the tackle on the Waterloo return man.
And you look at some of those other quarterfinal matchups next week, you're probably going to have Western against, looks like it's going to be McMaster with them up 7 right now with 4 minutes left in regulation against York. And you're going to have Ottawa Guelph. As you mentioned, Ottawa Guelph will be the first time they met this year, but the York Western game will be a rematch from earlier this season, and Western won quite convincingly. Porter is the player down for Waterloo right now, so that's the delay. Might be Haru.
7:46 left to go here.
We'll wait till they get up. It's 26 or 28.
And barring some mathematical improbabilities, this will likely be our final home broadcast here. And we really want to thank the crew behind us who do a tremendous job throughout the season. Our director, Jack Blondin, in the back there. Our replay, Shan Ryan, Leah McGee, Natalie Ostrovskaya, Brendan Warren, Jaspreet Kaur, and Cody Mayock doing a tremendous job throughout the season. Really behind the scenes, doing a great job with the camera work, with the replay work throughout the season as well.
Ooh, they need the Gaels training staff to come on, and the way they're holding the player, it's a neck injury. So, or at least a concern of a neck injury.
As Waterloo head coach Chris Bertoia is now going to go on to check his young athlete as well, and the players on both sides now going back to their benches.
Well, again, let's take a look at the path to the playoffs as things are starting to fill out. So as we said, McMaster up 7 right now. If they continue to hold on and win that game over York, they will go to London next week to play the Western Ontario Mustangs. Guelph will host Ottawa, and we've been talking about the fact the Gaels will go to Windsor next week, more than likely a 1 p.m. start for all those games. You'll have to check OUA.com or GoGalesGo.com to find out the kickoff times later this week. The winners move on to the semifinals. Laurier will be waiting for the lowest remaining seed. So if all the home teams win, like has been the case the last 2 years, then Windsor would go to Laurier and Western would host Guelph. Any upsets by the road teams would mean that team would probably go to Laurier and then who's ever remaining. So the Gaels, as we talked about, could get a home game in the semifinals. It would take
a lot of upsets.
Upheaval in the quarterfinals, and the odds of hosting the Yates Cup would mean that Ottawa or McMaster, the 6th and the 7th seeds, also won quarterfinal and semifinal games as they bring out, unfortunately, a stretcher for the injured Waterloo player. But precautions being taken and good work by both training staffs here.
And, we go back to that earlier game. It was really a lot of the turnovers, I think, was one of the, really keys in that week 1 matchup. The Gaels, they had Kasari going almost 170 yards in that game, but 4 interceptions. And that, 3 of them picked off by the same player in that
I believe one of them was run back for a touchdown, just off the top of my head. So, I mean, when you look at the game on film, it looked like the first game of the season, certainly from a Gaels perspective. And when you put that with the injuries they had suffered in training camp and the preseason, as we look again, and I think you're right, Donnie, it's that hit right there on Hero. And it looks like, and then he hits his head on the turf. So you wonder, you hope, I think that it's more a concussion than anything with his neck, but certainly it's brought a bit of the joy out of this stadium. All of us being worried about the Waterloo number 26. But getting back to that game, I mean, it was back in August. I mean, that's the thing. When they play next week on the 26th, it'll have been more than 2 months since they saw each other. So a lot's happened. Windsor has had a fantastic season. It hasn't ended the way they had hoped. I think they had visions of first place, certainly second. But the Cards haven't gone their way, and they're going to lose to Western today and fall down to 4th. And certainly the 4-5 matchup, just by numbers, is usually the toughest quarterfinal matchup. As a really good scene now, if our cameras can get it, both teams, all the players taking a knee as they wait to see how the Waterloo player is. And it's tough for the Warriors. I mean, you're on the road. You're finishing up a 0-for-8 season. It's been a tough game as head coach Steve Snyder's going to come out to take a look at the player as well and talk to Coach Bertoya, who they know from
again,
many
Coach
moves.
Bertoya was a coach at St. FX when Steve Snyder was a player there. They coached as well on the Western staff when they were both there together in London.
And Steve Snyder's going to deal with another former coaching mate from Western in Coach Cercelli at Windsor next week. Windsor made it to the semis last year, winning the 4-5 game at home. They'll hope to repeat it this year. All this happening with 7:46 time left in the fourth quarter. Maybe we'll take a quick break and we'll come back in a bit and hopefully continue this game and have some good news on the Waterloo player.
We're looking forward to a great evening. It's a chance to obviously celebrate all the successes from this last year. We're really here, and the work we do is on behalf of the student athletes and their coaches. So a special shout out to the student athletes and the coaches in the room today.
She helped lead her team to the Quigley Cup title. The 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year is Brock Badger's volleyball standout, Sarah Roy. He was first team OUA All-Star, the 23-24 OUA Athlete of the Year from the Guelph Griffins, Max Davies.
Sport has changed society. Sport does reproduce the dominant values in society, but that means if we get it right, then we become part of that. And so a good message tonight is a big thank you to our OUA staff who was charged with dealing with the biggest conference in the country to make it work.
To my colleagues I've worked with in this room my whole time while at U Ottawa, thank you. It has been my pleasure to meet you, to learn from every single one of you, to get to know you, to share some good laughs together, and probably some tears too, through tough moments that we've all supported one another.
Congratulations to the 2023-24 J.P. Loosemore Award recipient, Carleton University's Jennifer Brennan.
I've been working in this industry for 36 years. It's been an incredible career. I've been so blessed and fortunate to work with so many great people, those that look out for me, those that welcomed me, and those that have supported me. Thank the OUA staff and Gord for this incredible honor.
It's a real pleasure to look back on everything that the folks in this room have accomplished here tonight over the course of the 2023-24
And welcome back once again to Gaels
OUA
football
season.
on OUA TV. My name is
it's
John
really
Lewis,
exciting to
along
look
with Bill
forward.
Miklas.
We've got some time off now.
And a
but
great
we get
job
to do
done
it
by
all
the
again
training staff, medical
for the
staff of both
24-25
teams, and
season.
here at Richardson Stadium, as getting Logan Aru onto the stretcher. Aru, a second-year player out of Burlington, Ontario, unfortunately injured.
The most successful people in life share one thing.
Hit the turf at the end of that last return.
I think there, to me, Donnie, that there's no question that happened. The question becomes what happened on the initial hit, and if he was, if his head hit hard enough and he's unconscious when the trainers get to him, I think the extra precautions definitely warranted. And you've got to be careful nowadays with these with head injuries. And we wish all the best.
You know, it's certainly very unfortunate for this Waterloo team who
Yeah.
have really fought hard throughout this afternoon, throughout this season. And that is to right now, it looks as though they would be going 0-8 on the season. Then to have something like this happen as well. So,
And possibly a relative has come onto the field to check on him as well.
and again, Bill, as you had said, you know, players on both teams taking a knee.
And Steve Snyder had a talk with his team, because you've also got to be careful here. Everybody is taken aback by the injury, but you've still got to finish the game. Certainly for the Gaels, you're going to get hurt if you're not paying attention. And I think Chris Bertoya is going to do the same thing, because you also don't want to try and get back everything if you're Waterloo. It was an unfortunate accident, no question. We saw the replay. It was a clean hit. It's more about the landing than anything else, I think. But now, very interesting in Hamilton, Donnie. York has scored to close to within 3 with a little over a minute left, trying an onside kick that has gone out of bounds. So it looks like McMaster is going to hang on and get the 7th seed, as they'll lose in a tiebreaker to Ottawa, who's leading 35-0 right now at home to Toronto.
So Nolan Caban with Ethan Miller in at the backfield position. Miller takes the carry, tries to get out of the grasp of the Gaels' number 49, Jalen Grable, and he's going to be wrapped up after about a 2-yard gain. Actually, give him 3 yards out to the Waterloo 25-yard line. So 2nd and 7, and the Gaels with a lot of their second string unit in now on defense. Miller in motion far side. Caban looking over the middle, zips it, intended for Basiliga on the play, just falling shy of him, with Andy Quinn, the backup safety for Queens, in on the coverage that time, and it's going to bring on Cole Cressette to punt the ball away once again for Waterloo, as Ian St. Arnaud, who's in place of Jared Seaway at the field side corner position, now goes back to his traditional punt return position for the Gaels.
And it's a final in Ottawa. Ottawa, GG's defeat Toronto 49-7, so they get the 6th seed. They go to Guelph. McMaster gets the 7th seed. They'll go to London to play Western.
Cressette brings down the snap, another nice punt. And St. Arnaud tries to go cross field, and then now it's going to go down to the near sideline. 40-35 of Waterloo, all the way down to the actually they are going to say yes, down to the Waterloo 35-yard line. Eventually tackled on the play there by Delroy Njongwo.
Great cutback by St. Arnaud. Watch here, because he's been trying to get to the wide side, so he sucks in the coverage team, then cuts back. Great cutback. And the play made here by Njongo again to keep his spot, and then a nice tackle to close it out.
You know, credit the special teams and the way this unit has developed this year. Charlie Taggart comes in from the Hamilton Ticats, and, you know, just some of the really neat formations that we've seen. You know, certainly, you know, anytime a young man's can be able to return 3 missed field goals for touchdowns, there's something going on there. But, you know, tremendous punt returns as well. And that's really that sort of third phase of the football game that you're really wanting to see from your team. As it looks as though Russ Weir is right now talking to the Gaels offensive coordinator Matt Nesbitt and head coach Steve Snyder, so maybe expecting Weir to come in. I'm trying to see if, yeah, I think Weir is coming in for Leo here.
So back to Hamilton, where York got the ball back, so still 58 seconds left, and it's a final at Carleton. Laurier will go into their bye and get ready for the semifinals undefeated. They beat Carleton by 20. And York with the football, but deep in their own end, under a minute left, need a field goal to at least force overtime in that battle for 7th place with McMaster.
So we're at quarterback now for Queens. Hands the ball off to Adams. Adams goes right up the middle, picking up about 5 yards in that first down carry. Make it 2nd and 5 down to the Waterloo 30-yard line. So you can see again the drive of Adams on that play, just keeping those feet moving as he had initially been hit about just 2 or 3 yards downfield. So Weir has yet to attempt a pass this year. And on 2nd down, again, it's the handoff to Adams. Adams gets down closer to first down yardage, but he's going to be stopped about 1.5 yards short. And you've already got your short yardage quarterback in on this 3rd down play. Although the Gaels are actually going to be looking to, I believe, attempting a field goal here for Mullins. So again, this is, you're wanting to get, as you said, Bill, earlier, all 3 phases clicking and really try and get Tyler Mullins' confidence nailed as you go down to Windsor next week.
And it was a close result the last time they played at Windsor. It's probably going to be a tight game. You're going to need your field goal kicker to be on the money.
So from the 34, good snap, good hold. The ball is up, and it is wide left again, 2nd time this afternoon. As trying to come out of the end zone on the play is Tyler Goforth. And
they gave a single point, I believe.
So they make it now 51-7.
Oh, no. They're saying he got out,
okay,
and they're
so
going to go to the 20.
Spotted there. So good job by Goforth to make that play to just get the ball out, again, off of a punt or a missed field goal. Once you get it out of the end zone, it goes at least to the 20. And so the 2nd missed field goal this afternoon for the Gaels, number 42, Tyler Mullen. And now their 3rd quarterback is in for the Warriors, Isaac White. First time he's seen action this season for Waterloo. He's going to hand it off on 1st down to Vanderveen, goes straight up the middle, where it's going to be tackled by Gerang Uguak for the Gaels. Uguak with his 1st tackle this year for Queens. Give him 4 yards for Vanderveen on that 1st down carry. Uguak, a first-year 6'2", 282-pound defensive tackle for the Gaels.
And McMaster taking a knee in Hamilton, so they have indeed won the game by 3, 24-21 over York.
2nd and 6. White intending it near side on the play for Basiliga. Sorry, Tyler Goforth checked that on the play, eluding his receiver. It's going to make it 3rd down as Croisette comes on to punt the ball away for Waterloo. So you can see on the replay, just maybe the timing not quite on there. You're talking about your 3rd string pivot, intending the ball for one of his young receivers on the play. So Croisette has it, angles it out towards the sideline here, and St. Arnaud does a good job getting it inside the sideline, makes a move across midfield, and then zips all the way down to the 42-yard line. Ian St. Arnaud had about 1.5 yards alleyway on that return there, and great job getting the ball all the way down to the Waterloo. Actually, credit, give him the 43-yard line on that, where the Gaels will get this drive going.
So this is the only game left in the OUA today. Western has defeated Windsor 46-5. Laurier over Carleton 44-24, and McMaster over York 24-21. Ottawa over Toronto 49-7. So we'll look at the playoff bracket in a minute because we have our matchups.
So a handoff once again to Adams. Adams get met right at the point of attack. Nice job coming up by Mason Henry to make that tackle for Waterloo. That should give Adams a yard on the play, make it 2nd and 9.
So it will indeed be Western hosting McMaster, Windsor hosting the Gaels, and Guelph hosting Ottawa next Saturday in the OUA quarterfinals. And Laurier will get the first place bye. Gaels will call a timeout. So let's take a look at the OUA bracket while we've got this moment. As Donnie mentioned earlier, probably our last broadcast from Richardson this year. So that first matchup will be McMaster at Western next Saturday the 26th. Ottawa at Guelph and Queens at Windsor. The 3 winners will join Laurier on the weekend of the 2nd in the semifinals. And then the Yates Cup on November 9th. Winner of the Yates Cup will go out east to play the Atlantic champion in the UTEC Bowl on November 16th, with the Canada West champion hosting the Quebec champion that same day in the Mitchell Bowl. And the 2 survivors of that will come to Queens, or come to Richardson Stadium here in Kingston. And there's where you can get your tickets for this year's Vanier Cup. 2nd straight year that Kingston will host it. Last year, great game when Montreal defeated UBC.
So 2nd and 9 from the Waterloo 42-yard line. 2.5 to go here in the 4th quarter. Quick screen, quick hitch out near side to Martin. Martin makes a couple of nice moves and extends the play, eluding the tackle of Omisani and able to get down for first down yardage. Down to, actually, no, they're going to spot him just shy. I think it's going to be 3rd and inches here. Got down about the Waterloo 33-yard line. Nope, they do give him the first down after all. So nice job done that time by the Gaels' young receiver, just his 5th catch of the season.
Great work to get out of that initial tackle and then to fight for those yards to get the first down. Clock will be under 2 minutes by the time the Gaels run this play.
Handoff right up the middle to Adams, and again, good job by the interior, the defensive line for Waterloo. Marcus Ola making the tackle on the play. And for Waterloo, shaken up after that play is Dominique Walker. So 2-yard gain on that first down carry there to Adams.
So Windsor will host the Gaels next Saturday, October 26th. More than likely a 1 p.m. kickoff time in Windsor, but check GoGalesGo.com or OUA.ca to find out the specific time on OUA TV. Good luck to our counterparts in Windsor. And Windsor will be looking for their first win of the month, because losing to Western today, they have lost 3 in a row this month. On the 5th, they lost at Guelph 45-40. Last week, they lost to Laurier 33-26. And they lose to Western today. And we'll welcome the Gaels for the 4-5 quarterfinal next Saturday.
Good news for Waterloo player Dominique Walker, able to walk off under his own steam. 2nd and 8 now from the Waterloo 31-yard line. Gaels up to 264 yards on the ground here this afternoon. It's going to be a handoff once again to Adams, and he gets met right away. Tremendous defensive play that time. Marcus Miller with the tackle for Waterloo.
Just a great timed linebacker blitz by Miller. Just timed that snap perfectly, and Russell Weir had no time to get the ball out of the midsection of Adams, who's sort of smiling. As when that happens, you're very much defenseless as a running back.
So Mullen from the 39-yard line. And this time it is good, putting the ball up and through. So that's going to extend the Gaels' advantage. 1:05 left to go, 53-7. An interesting formation that time.
Very
I
interesting.
saw as well, splitting out the linebacker.
Even if you're going to not use it, Windsor's got to note it when they're watching the film this week. But more importantly, Tyler Mullen gets a field goal successful as this game winds down. So some positive momentum for him. As we take a look at quickly at the keys to the game to just wrap this one as we're approaching the last minute of the game. Get your mojo back on. I definitely think the Gaels got that, and because of that, they were able to provide a lot of fun to this homecoming crowd and dance with who you brought. And as you said, Donnie, almost 300 yards rushing for the Gaels in this game. That's what they do best. That's what they want to do. If they're going to win next week in Windsor, it's going to be because they have a successful running game. And they just, after Waterloo missed on their onside kickoff to start the game because of the penalty, it was just a tidal wave of the Gaels all game.
And then, for Gaels head coach Steve Snyder, wanted to see all three phases for 60 minutes, and that's what he got this afternoon. Coming off of 2 losses in the bye in their final game of the regular season. Kickoff coming down to Moore, up across the 15, makes a nice move cross field, trying to bounce it out near side, and he's going to get wrapped up there. Nice job downfield for the Gaels, making the tackle is Parsa Haydarzadeh, as Waterloo will get their drive started now from their 17-yard line. 54.5 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter.
And Donnie, another fun season with you, my friend.
I think we're up to about 31 or 2 or something like that on the...
I don't know. It's been a long time. And it'll be interesting to see who ends up here in Kingston on the 23rd of November. It'd be nice to see the tricolor back, but they're going to have to do it entirely on the road.
So once again, as with the last drive, Isaac White at the pivot drops the snap, flips it out near side to Hugel, and Hugel tackled right away. Andy Quinn coming up quickly to wrap up the Waterloo receiver after about a 4-yard gain on first down.
And Waterloo out of timeouts. So or are they?
I think that may have been their last timeout.
Oh, score clock quicker than the timeout.
Sorry, no, I apologize. There's a Gale down on the play there. It's Jalen Grable.
Oh.
As Gale's trainer Evan Knapp Fisher comes out to assist him.
Good. So I am reading the scoreboard correct when it says no timeouts left for Waterloo.
And Grable being assisted to the sideline. White, fake handoff, comes out near side, Goforth with the reception. And he's going to be spotted about a yard shy of what would be first down yardage. Gets it up to the Waterloo 27. Make it 3rd and 1. As Waterloo brings in an extra offensive lineman. So White with Basiliga beside him. Ethan Miller, it's going to be the running back, goes straight up the middle, makes a nice move at the 30, first down yardage out to the 34. He's eventually wrapped up by Aiden Vince coming up from his safety position. Nice job by Miller, who was met in before the line to gain for the first down, and then showed good vision to get upfield to the Waterloo 35. So clock now under 20 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. White back to pass, looking deep over the middle for Basiliga, and it just knocked out check that. It was Moore, and a tremendous defensive play back there by the Gaels, number 19, Noah Gross, knocking the ball away. Nice arm shown that time by Isaac White, first-year player, 6'2", 186-pound quarterback for the Waterloo Warriors.
And good recovery shown by Gross on the play to knock that one out as well.
And so this will be the final play of the game, as Waterloo is just going to kneel on it. And that makes the final score here this afternoon in Richardson Stadium 53-7, as the Gaels winning on Homecoming 2024.
And let the second season begin, Donnie. Gaels start the playoffs next Saturday. They'll go to Windsor. If they can win that, then it's a road trip to either London or Kitchener-Waterloo. But a great way to end the regular season. Perfect home record for the Gaels. I think they looked good. They've got the positive momentum that we talked about right from the opening. And again, their key in the playoffs is going to be that running game. If that running game is successful, the Gaels can go places.
And certainly being able to, and you talk about going on the road, you want to be able to control it and that and really get things going. A nice job once again by Anthony Leo, doing a good job leading that Gaels offense. And again, no interceptions since he's come in as the Gaels quarterback, going back to the Waterloo side. Tough break, going to 0-8. We certainly hope the young man Logan Aru is doing well after he was injured and a significant break in the game at that point. As they head back down, after a tough end of their season.
Well, and again, you hate to harp on it, but the turning point of this football game was the opening kickoff. They caught everybody, including you and me, off guard with that onside kick. They recovered it. It would have been Waterloo's ball just inside Gaels territory, but they were called for offside. They come back. They kick it honestly deep. St. Arnaud has the big return up to midfield. 3 plays later, the Gaels score a touchdown to make it 7-0. Never looked back.
So for Bill Mickless, my name's Don Lewis. You've been watching Gaels football on OUA TV. Gaels finish off the regular season 53-7, and we'll head down to Windsor next week to take on the Lancers in the first week of the OUA playoffs. We hope you've enjoyed watching Gaels football on OUA TV this season from Richardson Stadium.